but committed no crime. And bad mistakes, I've made a few. I've had myself and kicks in my bed, but I've come through. We are the champions, my friend, and we'll keep on fighting till the end. We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losers, 'cause we are the champions of the world.
Good afternoon, KSA. Good afternoon, Oman, and good evening in the Philippines. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. May I request everyone to please follow the naming convention so that our Zoom masters and technical committee will be can easily identify you and recognize you. For our conferees, let me start with our conferees. For our conferees, kindly change your name into your last name, capitalize your last name, followed by your first name. And then for your guests, kindly follow the name, the guest dash, and then the name of the conferee. If you are a ISEP, if you are an ISEP national officer, kindly indicate in your name ISEP national dash your position and then your name. And if you are an IECEP-KSA-CRC board member or board officer and director, kindly use the following convention. IKC dash your position and then your name. Again, once again, may I request everyone to please rename yourselves using the following convention. Your last name for our conferees, capitalize your last name followed by your first name. For your guest, guest dash the name of the conferee. For our ISEP national officers, ISEP national dash position dash your name. And then for our ISEP KSA-CRC board of directors and officers, can use IKC dash your position and then your name. I think I saw Sir Trece. Engineer Trece, magandang hapon po. Magandang gabi. Tax. And as of the moment, we are 38 attendees. There are 38 professionals on board, and we are live on YouTube. It's nice to see the ladies and gentlemen dressed to kill. Everybody is smartly wearing the Barong Tagalog and Filipiniana. I've also seen one of the attendees that has joined us to our virtual realm, the AER Head Commissioner of APEO. Let's give it up for IR Yao Chang Fong. Yang Chao Fong.
Hi,
Welcome, sir. Hello, sir.
good to see you all.
Good to see you too, and I do hope that you are relaxed and enjoy the
Oh yeah,
proceedings
sure.
later on. This is a momentous and auspicious event, specifically for our conferees, and it's really an honor that you have graced our event for tonight. Good afternoon, KSA. Good afternoon, Oman, and good evening in the Philippines. Wherever you may be, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all to the fourth special ASEAN Engineering Register Conferment Ceremonies, hosted by IECEP-KSA Central Region Chapter in collaboration with IECEP Oman and PSME-CRSA Riyadh Chapter. Let's all give everyone a big round of applause. It's really nice to see everyone. Yes, I know this is a virtual conferment, but it will not be, and it is as important as the physical meeting. ICEP-KSA-CRC has already put up a show that will emulate the physical meeting as well. I do hope that everyone is relaxed, everyone is ready, and everyone is excited as myself to see our conferees being done with their sash, medallions, and pins, and also the certificate from AER. This is one of the auspicious and momentous events, and this is very important, specifically to our families as well. So if you have your families with you, kudos on you. And to the immediate family of our conferees, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Before we start, we are going to flash some of the reminders and proceedings and guidelines to be followed within our program.
What is
Our virtual meeting will always have guidelines and things to be followed so that our proceedings will not have any glitches. Kindly bear with us and read through or listen through the guidelines.
what is ASEAN? The Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN for short, is an association that today consists of 10 Southeast Asian states. In 1967, Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, and Singapore founded ASEAN. The aim was to improve economic, political, and social cooperation, and also to balance political conflicts between these countries that existed as a consequence of decolonization. During Cold War, ASEAN members wanted to contain the influence of communism in the region. Times changed. Old enemies became new partners, and in the second half of the 1990s, Vietnam, Laos, Myanmar, and Cambodia joined ASEAN. The collapse of the USSR, the founding of the World Trade Organization, and a financial crisis in Asia prompted members to deepen their relations and adapt to the new situation. In the 2000s, free trade agreements were concluded with India, China, South Korea, Australia, New Zealand, and Japan. In the future, the entire region will be merged into one large free trade zone. Since 2001, the ASEAN Summit takes place annually. It is a meeting of the heads of state and government where current problems are discussed and solutions are worked out. In 2008, the ASEAN Charter came into force, giving the association the status of a legal person. Principles of non-intervention and consensual decision-taking remained unchanged by the Charter. Decisions are generally made by consensus. No member can be forced to something. As a result, the group rarely appears to be closed. Nowadays. Today, ASEAN is based on 3 pillars. As a political and security community to ensure peace, as an economic community with a strong domestic market, and as a social and cultural community, including a common identity. Challenges and solutions. ASEAN faces a number of social and environmental challenges. Countries such as Vietnam or the Philippines are particularly vulnerable to climate change and already feel its impact today. Problem: coal production. Nevertheless, member states plan to meet the energy demand by making primarily use of climate-damaging coal. Indonesia plans to build 117 new coal-fired power plants by 2025. Myanmar invests in gigantic hydroelectric power plants and coal. Laos builds dams on the Mekong. The result is that Vietnam loses water in the Mekong Delta. However, fossil fuels, for example, are not necessary to cover the lack of energy. Renewable energy sources ranging from biomass to solar energy and wind power have enormous potentials in the region. They too would promote the local economy and provide sustainable jobs. Problem: the haze. Large areas of precious rainforest are burnt down for palm oil plantations and cattle feed cultivation all over Indonesia. The smog of these fires covers large parts of Indonesia, Singapore, and Malaysia. Pollution continues, even though in 2003 a smog agreement in the ASEAN came into force, which should reduce forest fires, environmental degradation, and air pollution. As such problems cross borders, ASEAN must tackle them in a joint effort and think beyond borders. This can be done, for example, by taking up the suggestions made by CSOs, civil society organizations, aiming at installing a 4th pillar, the environmental pillar. It must ensure that the ecological limits are taken into account in the growth debate. Only in case civil society is informed transparently and gets much more involved, acting free from state repression, social and environmental justice can arise. Serve people rather than profit.
There you have it. That was a fun, interesting movie or presentation. And at this juncture, this program is brought to you by the ICEP-KSA Central Region Chapter in collaboration with the ICEP Oman and also the PSME-CRSA Riyadh Chapter. And I will be presenting to you the house rules, starting off with wear appropriate dress code for the event and act professionally. As you can see, everybody is dressed to kill. And as you can see for our guests, everyone is wearing, or almost everyone is wearing the Filipiniana. And together with the Barong Tagalog, these are the native dresses of the Philippines. Proud to wear them. Mine is just color red, but it is deep inside Barong Tagalog as well. Second, mute your mobile devices, tablets, and web browsers to avoid disturbances. We have our technical committee and our Zoom masters. Only the Zoom masters will be allowed. Only the Zoom masters can control our audio. Whenever you are needed to speak in advance, our Zoom masters will be asking you to unmute yourself. Third, participants other than the speakers are muted until you are called to speak by the moderator. Pay attention to the speakers attentively and focus to the event. Upon entry to the Zoom, kindly rename your profile to be addressed properly when being mentioned. For example, for our conferees, kindly start with your name capitalized followed by your first name. For our guests, kindly start or kindly write guest dash and then the name of the conferees. For our ICEP national officers, ICEP national dash your position and then your name. And last but not the least, for our IKC officers or ICEP-KSA-CRC officers, kindly write IKC dash your position and then your name so that our Zoom masters can easily find you, recognize, and spotlight you later on.
Whenever you see a built structure, I'm sure there is a work that was done by an engineer.
Why don't we form a federation of engineering association? And I said, Lydia, you better start organizing this, which I did. So we called the different engineering association. There were about 10. And we started to talk with one another that we will federate ourselves so that we can have a common objective on certain common ideas, common issues, common problems, common challenges that we can probably work together for issues. We can discuss it in a forum like an association of federated engineers.
I see the opportunity for us, Filipino engineer, to be elevated into a global arena as a professional engineer at par with our foreign counterpart. One of my mission at that time and gave me some motivation to continue being a president or continue to be a member of PTC is to elevate the status of Philippine engineer into a global status.
There's a milestone in PTC there during my term when we developed the competency standards for advanced level engineering, and we created a manual that is being used by assessing engineers who want to be APEC engineers and ASEAN engineers.
The major project that we had then was the hosting of CAFEO 25. Okay, that was an important event because it was the silver anniversary of the ASEAN Federation of Engineering Organizations, which was started in 1982, of course, with our Tita Lydia Tansinsin as president. The preparation for the CAFEO 25 was such a big task. We had to really make it very successful, of course, for the name of the PTC and of course the Philippines as a wonderful host of the major event.
During my incumbency as president of PTC, I include industrial engineering because industrial engineering is not within the PRC engineering association that was involved in PRC. So because industrial engineering has their own examination in their own rank. They are not under PRC.
We are all very different persons, different organizations. There are 13 of us, and if we talk about 13 organizations, these are 13 different organizations. And I'm very proud that in spite of the diversity of what we believe in, what we do, we still find reasons to cooperate and work together for a common purpose. That common purpose being to level up the Filipino engineering professional qualifications and having it recognized internationally.
One classical example that really inspires me to move on, help working with PTC in regards to accreditation is at least two of our member engineers in the United States have been granted the professional engineering title by the respective boards of the state where they are practicing, the state of Nevada. Our APEC engineers were afforded without taking an examination, but only proving and giving the same documents, I believe, that they have submitted when they applied for registration in the APEC Engineering Registry. So the future of our Filipino professionals who have either migrated abroad but remains to be Filipino citizen, or those that are working abroad, will definitely benefit out of this accreditation system which the PTC is involved.
for PTC to be able to have their national engineering registry. Hopefully, it will really happen because as of now, we do not have a national engineering registry that will provide information about the skills of our engineers. This particular national engineering registry will really make a difference because other countries will just look at this registry to have the profiles of the engineers that we have.
Challenges in the ACVET is to be able to make these different schools, especially the engineering programs, that we are not doing accreditation to look at to criticize them, but to help them develop and make their programs more, I would say, inclined with the different local and international standards so that we can compete globally.
I could see that we could achieve a lot of things to teamwork and cooperation. As an engineer, I could see that we could achieve a lot in terms of directing the general public, in terms of having the Philippines. Because if you look at the growth of the Philippines, it has been a long process, and I could see us graduating to the next level, from the third world to the first world, only if we harness a directed effort, probably an engineered effort.
What makes me proud is just plain and simple. People within PTC, officers, are easy to talk with, and they are of helping hand to each other. And that makes an organization a different one. Unified as one and cooperate as one in order to achieve its goal collaboratively. For the 40th anniversary of PTC, unity and diversity mixed with collaboration, we go on global competitiveness that we achieve our goals towards excellence, commitment, and collaboration across the different engineering disciplines.
The engineers should really be cooperating with one another, especially now that the engineering discipline is becoming expanded.
PTC has been established for purposes intended to promote our engineering professions. We are able to develop ourselves and achieve levels of competencies that will enable us to contribute. Look at this mission of PTC, and if you find that you're ready to give back, then come and help us make our mission a reality, our vision a reality. For all of us, for all engineering professionals, Filipino engineering professionals, orientation they have, whatever belief they have, we believe that together we can do it. Kapwa inhinyero, mga professional, sana po, join us at PTC.
Indeed, there is unity amidst diversity, and an organization is only as good as its members. So I do hope that all the conferees after this conferment will be a staunch advocate of PTC, spreading the good news, spreading the good word and the benefits of joining this great organization. For our next segment, Let us proceed with the invocation, the Christian prayer, the Muslim prayer, followed by the national anthems.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang magiliw, helas ng silanganan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, kuya ka ng magiting, sa manluluping, di ka pasisigil, sa nagatak tutok sa simoy at sa langit ng pangaw, ay hinatang tulakaw. وارفع الخفاق أخضر يحمل النور المسطر رددي الله أكبر يا موطني موطني قد عشت فخر المسلمين عاش الملك للعلم والوطن
زارعي للمجد والعلياء مجدي لخالق السماء
وارفع الخفاق أخضر يحمل النور المسطر رددي الله أكبر يا موطني موطني قد عشت فخر المسلمين عاش الملك للعلم والوطن
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Now that we have our proceedings on the way, it is but right to welcome our dignitaries for this evening. And to welcome our dignitaries, let me present on our virtual lectern the next presenter. Our presenter is the 2017 Institute of Electronic Engineer of the Philippines Outstanding Electronics Engineer, the 2016 Chapter Governor and current advisor of the Institute of Electronic Engineer of the Philippines, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Central Region Chapter, and Oman Chapter. He is the appointed professional interviewer of the Philippine Technological Council, PTC, a professional electronics engineer, an ASEAN Chartered Professional Engineer, an ASEAN and APEC engineer. Ladies and gentlemen, to our honored and welcome guest, please help me welcome, for his welcome remarks, Engineer Emmanuel R. Yumu.
Thank you for that introduction, Engineer Harris. With utmost due respect to our Ambassador of Philippine Embassy in Riyadh, Honorable Adnan Alonto, Ambassador of Philippine Embassy in Oman, Honorable Attorney Imelda Panolong, with great respect as well to the APEO AER Head Commissioner, Engineer Chow Pong Yao, APEO Secretary General, Engineer Muhammad Kir bin Muhammad, AER Ambassador for the Philippines, Dr. Chong Yong Tony Ong, PTC President Engineer Federico Mansada, PTC Country Registrar and PTC International Relations Committee Chairman Engineer Romul Ogatep, and the PTC IRC members, including PTC Founding President, Senior Advisor Dr. Lydia Tansinsin, PTC Past President Advisor Engineer Augusto Soliman, PTC Past President and Advisor Engineer Enrico Mera, PTC MENA Presidential Advisor Engineer Teresa Bustamante, PTC VP for Internal Affairs, Engineer Elpidio Carlota, PTC former Secretary Dr. Robert Licug, PTC alternate County Registrar Engineer Orlan Vicente, and PTC Energy Committee Chair Dr. Florigo Barona, including also APEO's AER Head Secretariat Ms. Be Oy, AER Secretariats Ms. Balis Saminatan, and Mr. Adam Sopri, recognizing also the PTC Secretary and ISEP National President, Dr. Michelle Lawas, VP Internal Affairs, Engineer Jesse De Toro, IECEP-KSA-CRC Governors, Engineer Arnold Salcedo, and past Governors, Engineer Vince Lau, Engineer Kim D, Engineer Evan Flores, Engineer Ken Balispin, Engineer Perry Camson, and Oman Chapter Governors, Engineer Jimmy Santos and Engineer Radhi Tripalgar, PSME Chapter President, Engineer Jason Zamora, ISEP and PSME Chapter Officers, and most especially to our conferees and guests. Good afternoon here in Saudi Arabia and Oman, and good evening there in the Philippines. Thank you to each one of you for joining us today. It is very heartwarming to see you all get this prestigious title of being an ASEAN engineer, associate ASEAN engineer, and ASEAN technician. Let me share a quick quote on by Robert Ingersoll: "We rise by lifting others." I am aware that you are already experts in your fields and have been recognized by your respective companies and peers, both in the Philippines and in the Middle East. But having your qualification evaluated and recognized for the ASEAN Engineering Registry of the ASEAN Federation of Engineering Organizations, APEO, through the efforts of the Philippine Technological Council is a different level. Your qualifications are now recognized for the 10 ASEAN member countries, proving that Filipinos are truly globally competitive. Getting here was not an easy task. Being with you in this path, going to this successful recognition, I am confident that you truly deserve the title. My warm welcome and congratulations to you, our conferees, and your families. And lastly, a special mention to the IECEP-KSA-CRC officers and BODs who worked tirelessly to make this event possible, and the support of PTC MENA, PTC, and PTC's Ms. Venus Rodriguez. Thank you. I am very pleased to welcome everyone in this fourth special ASEAN Engineering Register Conferment.
Thank you so much, Engineer Emmanuel Humor, for that welcome remarks. That was quite a mouthful, and I do hope that everybody has been recognized, all of our dignitaries. And at this juncture, let me introduce to you our next speaker for his opening remarks. Our next speaker is a graduate of civil engineering from Mindanao State University in Marawi City, Philippines, and earned his master's degree in public administration from the University of Eastern Philippines in Katarman, Eastern Samar. Our speaker is a practicing structural engineer for more than 30 years and works as an engineering manager of BFIM Scaffold BU Alcobar KSA. He was the founder of the Association of Structural Engineers of the Philippines in Saudi Arabia. Currently, the Presidential Advisor and Coordinator of PTC MENA, and a member of the International Relations Committee of PTC. He was the one who introduced most of us to the ASEAN Engineering Register here in Saudi Arabia. Ladies and gentlemen, to our honored and welcome guests, please help me welcome ASEAN and APEC engineer, Trece T. Bustamante. Engineer Trece, can you please
Muted ka pare.
check your audio?
Audio.
Can you check if it is properly plugged in your audio device? Or probably you can use the laptops.
Baka yung ano mo, alisin, yung ano mo, headphone mo, alisin mo muna sa laptop. Headphone. Subukin mo alisin yung headphone mo sa laptop.
Can you hear me?
Ayan.
There, it's now loud and clear, sir. You may proceed.
Hindi. It's okay. Proceed.
It's okay, sir. Engineer Trece, we can hear you loud and clear. You may proceed with your speech.
Nakamute ka pare. Unmute.
Hello?
Yeah.
We can hear you, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Loud and clear. Loud and clear,
Okay.
sir.
I do not know how it came out. There's a glitch. Anyway, thank you for the warm welcome and the introduction, Mr. Moderator. I am seldom asking apologies for things like this, but it so happened. So my apologies on my system. To proceed with, yes, I am very proud to hear and see the first time a lot coming from the AAR, and I'd like to personally really thank my good friend and batch, Engineer Yo Chu Fong. We've been together since 2006, and
No
this
way.
again, we see each other
No
for
way.
this momentous event for everyone. Yes, you've been asking me, Engineer Yo Chu Fong, how we did it in the Middle East, and there it goes. It has a lot of its members now. Last night, I had a very nice encounter when someone asked me, how do I define an engineer? Instead of answering it, I refused to say the correct response, but I'd rather tell him, when do you know that you're an engineer? And next to that, I also asked him, when did you know that you're an engineer? In the Philippine setting, I only realized after 5 years when I able to define that I am really an engineer. Added to that, I'd like to say that to become an engineer is not that easy. It's because you have to really attain a kind of attributes during your college days. Now in the practice, I noticed as well that without a real recognition of what you have obtained is nothing more just a personal acquaintance of what you call experience. So I'd like to move forward by telling everyone, in the context of engineering international recognition. While it is true that practicing outside the country is overwhelming, but again, without the real recognition of it, you'll just be put aside. So with this, we always introduce since 2014 that international recognition, first and foremost in the 10 ASEAN countries, is very important. Now it has a lot of accolades in the Middle East, and it has been recognized on big companies by big companies. So with this, it is a very, very exciting on my part to see my good friends that they are responding to the call of becoming internationally competitive and being an ASEAN engineer, not just as a Filipino engineer. By this, we claim a good branding as ASEAN, not just Filipino, but ASEAN engineer. For this afternoon event, I proclaim that this activity is formally open Back to you, moderator.
Thank you so much, Engineer Trece Bustamante. I can clearly remember back in 2017, the month of May, when Engineer Trece Bustamante and also Engineer Romulo was there to help us with the special conferment ceremonies as well. For the information of everyone, your Master of Ceremony is also an ASEAN engineer. I mean, an Associate ASEAN engineer. And tonight will be an auspicious event. And so stay tuned, relax, and we will be looking forward to our conference. Our next presenter to introduce our inspirational speaker for tonight. Our next presenter is a founding chapter governor of the Institute of Electronic Engineer of the Philippines, Sultanate of Oman, and he is a conferee himself. Ladies and gentlemen, to introduce our inspirational speaker, please help me welcome Engineer Raddy Trafalgar.
Thank you, Engineer Harris. Before I start, let me check my mic first. Can you hear me? It's okay. Thumbs up, please. All right. Yes, so I have the privilege to present our guest speaker tonight. Our speaker is a graduate of Electronics and Communications Engineer from the University of Southeastern Philippines in Davao City and earned her master's degree in engineering, major in electronics engineering from the same university, and has a doctorate engineering degree in robotics from the Mindanao State University in Iligan City. She's the Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs for the Mindanao State University, General Santos City, a Director of Accrediting Agency of the Chartered Colleges and the University in the Philippines, AACCUP. She is also a professional electronics engineer, a past chapter governor of IECEP, SOC Sergeant in 2014 to 2017. Our very own 2021 National President of Institute of Electronics Engineer of the Philippines and Chairman of Electronic Engineers of the Philippines Foundations and the current Secretary of the PTC. Please welcome Dr. Michelle D. Lawas.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that kind introduction. I am delighted to be introduced by such a wonderful person in IECEP Oman, Engineer Raddy Trafalgar, our former governor of IECEP Oman. Maraming salamat po. To the IECEP National Board of Directors and Officers, especially to our Vice President for Internal Affairs, Engineer Jesse Di Toro, chapter governors, formers and current in IECEP-KSA-CRC, Engineer Arnold Silvestre Salcedo, and former Governor, Engineer Emmanuel Yumul, our PTC MENA, IECEP Oman Governor, Engineer Jimmy Santos, especially to the officers and committees of this ASEAN Engineering Register Virtual Conferment host chapters, IECEP-KSA-CRC in collaboration with IECEP Oman and Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineering, Central Region, Saudi Arabia, and of course to the PSME. Of course, now in the absence of the National President and its members, our valued members, as well as to our guests, the PTC dignitaries from different committees, PTC MENA Presidential Advisors from PTC IRC as well, especially to Engineer Tracy Bustamante, the Presidential Advisor and Coordinator of PTC MENA Affairs. My courtesy to our keynote speakers, to the Honorable Philippine Ambassador of Oman, Honorable Imelda Panolong, and to the Ambassador of the Philippine Embassy of Saudi Arabia, Honorable Adnan Alonto, and to the Philippine Technological Council President, Engineer Federico Monsada, and Engineer Romulo Agatep, PTC Country Registrar, and of course to our founding PTC President, no less than Dr. Lydia Tansinsin, to our conferees from different chapters, local and foreign, including the organizations our fellows represent, and to all the Filipino engineers, our guests from IER, a pleasant day to one and all. The Institute expresses its gratitude on behalf of the National Board of Directors and Officers and its members for inviting us to address this very important audience and express our congratulations on the importance of advanced engineering and our take on the significance of a multidisciplinary approach to helping the national government in building sustainability. Indeed, in recent history, convergence has turned from a byword into the norm, being defined as the interaction of the members of an ecosystem. Simply put, convergence operationalizes the interfaces brought about by common fields of practice for various disciplines and professions. IECEP, Institute of Electronics Engineers of the Philippines, is also fortunate to have met everyone here today in the crossroads of the pandemic, and it is our third group of conferees from IECEP. When everyone is scrambling to get back on their feet because of the effects of COVID-19, we are here creating history as the driving force of digital transformation. No other time, remember that in history, was our professions encouraged to make change as it is today. Ours is a collective effort among standardization bodies and professional development organizations in establishing benchmarks for innovation and progress amid the new normal. We now live in a dynamic society powered by innovation and driven by knowledge. And as we begin to embrace the game-changing nature of electronics and ICT, coupled with digital transformation, our collective consciousness also manifests the critical role of ICT infrastructure in the integrated supply chain, with businesses, enterprises, and individuals accelerating the economic momentum across industries and the government. It now begs us to ask the right questions. Are we prepared? And what does it take to sustain the growth for us to build back better? Indeed, from many fronts, IECEP and the rest of the electronics engineering community have been constantly engaging stakeholders to develop programs and activities to cater to the needs of the general membership and the communities where we are present. For us to be full-fledged frontliners, because we always claim that we are the frontliners in this time of yung COVID natin, we must take a step back and assess our core competencies to ensure that our skills are continually strengthened and challenges are kept addressed. The evolving situation is but another milestone we must rise above. And to do that, we must spread our wings and flutter graciously across the skies. This is akin to professional development, where our contributions do not merely reflect our personal aspirations, but that of a mutually shared objective for national growth and development. We have a resilient culture, one that is characterized by a shared appreciation of priorities, driven by innovation, and we are fueled by technology and powered by the electronics engineering industry we are all part of. For us to prosper, we must meet national demands through local expertise, harmonizing strategies and cultivating the new generation and preparation for new normals of the future. This emerging move is a necessary step we all must take for our continued relevance and leadership in the performance and in the information and communications technology arena amid the landscape of development and sustainable progress. IECEP is one with PTC in developing and advancing engineering professionals towards recognition of Filipino engineers. With this, Allow me to greet and extend to everyone the sincerest appreciation and congratulations to the AER Conferment in collaboration with ICEP Oman and PSME-CRSA, hosted by IECEP-KSA-CRC. I am so proud of you, and most of all, to the conferees' achievements for yourself, your family, and the Filipino nation. This is truly a momentous event for all of us. Mabuhay tayong lahat. Maraming salamat po, and happy Eid Adha Mubarak, everyone.
Thank you so much, Madam Michelle Lawas, for that inspirational message. My key takeaways from your speech is that the driving force behind the digital transformation and standardization. It is indeed, pandemic will not hamper us from pursuing the upgrades and the self-improvement. Thank you so much for that wonderful speech of yours, Madam Michelle Lawas. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause to our inspirational speaker, ICEP National President, Dr. Michelle Lawas. At this juncture, let me introduce to you the next presenter. Our next presenter is the 2020 Institute of Electronic Engineer of the Philippines Outstanding Electronics Engineer and the 2018 Chapter Governor of the Institute of Electronic Engineer of the Philippines, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Central Region Chapter. Ladies and gentlemen, to our honored and welcome guest, to introduce our next guest speaker, please help me welcome on the virtual lectern, Engineer Emmanuel C. Flores.
Thank you, Engineer Harris, for that wonderful introduction. So I'm here, good afternoon, everyone. I'm here to introduce to you one of the mentors of our engineering practice. I met him way back 2015 when the AER was initially introduced in Middle East, and we are the first batch of the ASEAN engineering here in Saudi Arabia. He is a professional metallurgical engineer and a general engineering executive with over 40 years of operational and corporate management experience in the heavy metal industry. A co-founder and executive director of the Certifications and Accreditations System for Engineering Education, an accreditation system which established and being implemented to be substantially equivalent to the requirements of the Washington Accord. He is the lead person on the Philippines' quest for the membership to international recognition bodies like Washington Accord, FEIAP, Engineering Educational Guidelines. He is also a former board examiner of the Professional Regulations Commission. He is also a former chair of the ASEAN Federation of Engineering Organizations and chair of the APEC Engineering Register Philippine National Monitoring Committee. He is a member of Commission of Higher Education Technical Panel for Engineering and Technology and the Coordinating Council of Accreditation. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow engineers, I am deeply honored to present to you the President of the Philippine Technological Council, Engineer Federico Fred A. Monsada. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. I hope you can hear me now. A while ago, I was having a problem in another meeting, so I was having a technical problem. I hope it's now clear. And thank you very much, Engineer Flores, for that introduction. And first of all, I would like to recognize our ambassador to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, His Excellency Adnan Alonto. I also would like to recognize our ambassador to the State of Oman, Honorable Imelda Panulong. I would like to recognize also our, perennial patron of this event, Engineer Yao Chaofong, our AER Head Commissioner, the Secretary General of AFIO, Engineer Kir Mohammed, and Dr. Ong, the ambassador of the Philippine AER ASEAN Engineering Register. And of course, I would like to mention also our friend and the national president of the IECEP, Dr. Michelle Lawas, of course, the one responsible for this conferment and the series of conferment that we are having in the next few months, our chairman of the International Relations Committee, Engineer Romulo Agatep, and his members of the IRC. Of course, when it comes to the Middle East, through the coordination of our PTC MENA, headed by Trece Bustamante, and of course, through the various chapters of the organization, like the chapter in KSA Central Region. And we are very happy and very proud to see Noel Yumol coordinating all of these together with the chapter presidents. And when I say chapter presidents, not only of IECEP, but also of the other discipline like PSME. And thank you very much, PSME, for participating in this event that we are having now. Of course, to the different governors of IECEP and PSME, Radit Trafalgar of IECEP Oman, Vincent Lau of KSA-CRC, among others. And I think I only have a very short message for all of you. And first of all, I would like to congratulate everyone, especially the countries and their families, for pursuing this milestone in the lives of your husband or your wives who are there working in these different countries, where we find Filipino engineering professionals, working not only for their families, but I suppose only also for our country. And it is always heartening to note the kind of relationship, the cooperative relationship you have together. And as I was discussing with the president of the Philippine Federation of Professional Association just a few minutes ago before we started this event, I was telling him that when we finally write the PFPA hymn, which we are trying to compose right now, I think one of the most important consideration is how we as engineering professionals, or how we as professionals, contribute not only to our families, even how far we are from them, but how we contribute to the development, socioeconomic development of our country, and even beyond our own Philippine jurisdiction. And we were discussing to really consider this, and we have PFPA has commissioned one who will put together our ideas. But please take note that because of our own experience, PTC experience in the Middle East, we would like to really enshrine in this hymn what you have been doing, your contribution to making the Filipino, nation a real, resilient country, a nation where we put all our efforts together. And there are only two items that I would like to leave as a takeaway for all of the countries. The reason why you have been, scheduled and you will be conferred in the next few minutes is because your qualifications, as manifested by your experience in different, projects that you have undertaken, have been assessed and evaluated, and you have been found to be hitting the mark. Some of you perhaps exceeding that mark, some of you are right on the dot. And having done so, having gone through this assessment and evaluation, then the next question would be, what is next? What then is next? It is the intent and purpose of PTC to make sure that every engineering professional that we have will have the same opportunity as you have had. So PTC has been looking around for platform for the recognition of this qualification, and hopefully we'll be successful in making sure that these qualifications that you have will eventually be recognized, and such recognition will be useful to you and to everyone whom you will be influenced in the future. And so therefore, I ask you that please maintain that competence that you have, that qualification that you have, exceed it if necessary. Of course, you should exceed it at every step of the way, not only for your own sake, but as I was again discussing just a while ago, maybe for the sake of a greater many in the country. When you come back to the Philippines, you become, a retired person, but I don't think you should, because once you have gained those competencies, those are, very valuable competencies that you can actually use even if you go beyond that retirement age that we normally look forward to. Okay, that's first. Second, I hope that having gone through this process of assessment and evaluation, and eventually being conferred and qualifications recognized, I hope you will be able to share this with others. And I could feel the impact of those actions, because I have seen personally, we have seen what happened when we first started this, this journey in 2014 there in the Middle East. And today we are very pleased, very happy, and very honored that many of you have taken on the challenge, and that because of the efforts of those who came ahead of you, they were unselfishly sharing what they know about what we are doing, our advocacy of getting the Filipino qualifications recognized, so that you yourselves can continue to contribute to the development not only of the countries or the communities where you thrive, where you are now operating, but eventually for our own country. This is one of the, advocacy. And if I'll use the Tagalog word, I think it's more meaningful if I say ito po yung adhikain ng ating PTC, lahat ng kasama sa PTC. Ang adhikain na that your friend, your neighbor who is an engineering professional will have, will move towards the same journey of continually improving himself, making sure that, move one step at a time, level up to the new bar every time, of course, with the ultimate purpose of making sure that you take care of your family and you eventually take care of the community as well as of the country. These are the things that I hope will be your takeaway for today. And before I end, I would like to congratulate everyone for making it through this point in time. And, I think taking it one at a time, I would like to congratulate you and pray that you all enjoy this moment together with your families, whether they are with you now or they are in the Philippines or somewhere else. So congratulations to all of you. Congratulations to all your families who have been very, very supportive of what you aim to do and aim to achieve. So thank you very much at magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat.
Thank you so much, Engineer Fred Gonzaga, for that very inspirational message. And it brought me back. It is very nostalgic because just an hour ago, a friend of mine sent a comment in my Facebook account because I posted this event in my Facebook account. And then he's saying, Engineer, what is conferment? The word itself, conferment, he doesn't know. So what more the competencies, the upgrading, and also the continuous learning that we are advocating in PTC. So each and every one, thank you so much, Engineer Fred Gonzaga, for reminding us to be an advocate for such a self-improvement, and so that everyone will also benefit from what we are benefiting right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Engineer Fred Gonzaga. At this juncture, let me introduce to you our next presenter. Thank you so much, sir. Our next presenter to introduce our next inspirational speaker is the Chapter Vice Governor for External Affairs of the IECEP-KSA Central Region Chapter, one of the steering committee of the conferment ceremonies this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, to our honored and welcome guest, please help me welcome to the virtual lecture, Engineer June Silvestre Calomardo.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Engineer Harris. So good evening, everyone, and good afternoon. Eid Mubarak to our Muslim brothers. Our guest speaker has a total of 20 years working experience, mainly in a large and reputable consultant firm. He has established his own M&E consultancy practice, the Dorain Professionals, 7 years ago. His exposure includes mainly large-scale electrical system design for various types of buildings, plants, and aviation industries, RE plants, and data centers. His experiences include design, implementation, and contracting for electrical building services of various types of buildings, from specialized buildings such as large-scale solar farms, infrastructure development of data centers, to high-rise buildings, and both locally in Malaysia and overseas. He has and is still playing an intensive active role in the Institute of Engineers Malaysia, IEM, the primary organization encompassing the professionals in engineering in Malaysia. He has been involved in IEM since 2001 and was the past chair of Young Engineer Section and served in IEM Execom and Council, and currently chairs the ASEAN Engineering Inspectorate Electrical Installation Steering Committee at AFEO, the ASEAN Federation of Engineering Organization level. He was also the past chairman of the IEM Electrical Engineering Technical Division and currently still serving in the various technical committees in the Department of Standards in Malaysia, and also at the International Electrotechnical Commission, or IEC, international level, serving in the Technical Committee 64, or the Committee on Electrical Installations and Protection Against Electric Shock, and in the IEC New Revenue Generation Committee. He is also the current president of University of Malaysia Engineering Alumni Association. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor to present to you the ASEAN Engineering Registrar Head Commissioner under AFEO, an ASEAN engineer, an ASEAN Chartered Professional Engineer, an APEC engineer, an international professional engineer, Engineer Yao Chow Fong. Good evening, sir.
Thank you, Engineer Jun Silvestre, for introducing me. And good evening to everyone. Mabuhay. Good evening to Honorable In Alonto, the Ambassador for Philippine Embassy, Saudi Arabia, our AFEO Secretary from Malaysia, Engineer Muhammad Khair, my good friends, my seniors, Engineer Fred Monsada, Engineer Romulo Agatep from PTC, and of course, not to forget, Engineer Tracy.
I believe our guest speaker is having some technical difficulties. Can our technical committee contact our guest speaker?
Okay, I'm back. Sorry. I'm not too sure why my line. Sorry for the disruption. Are you able to hear me now?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear. Loud and clear.
Yeah, sure. Okay, thanks. Sorry for this interruption. I think good evening to Engineer Tracy Bustamante, my good friend since 2006, as he mentioned just now. We knew each other since CAFEO in Kuala Lumpur, and we have been involved in ASEAN engineering events till today, and very glad that both of us are still playing a role in promoting the mobility of engineers among the ASEAN engineers. And of course, not to forget Dr. Michelle Lawas, the National President of IECEP, and of course, all the rest of the AR Excos, and of course, the AR Secretariat as well. Good evening to everyone, and definitely I'd like to welcome all of you today to this event, and I'm very proud to be part of the event as well. This is I believe, my 7th or 8th conferment, which I'm very proud and of course like to be involved in as well to the newly admitted ASEAN engineers. And for those who are being conferred in a few minutes later today, you have taken the first step to a lot of exciting journey in the AER and ASEAN Engineering Register as well. Rightly said by Engineer Federico Monsada just now, today, why are you here? And today is actually a recognition of you and your achievement that you have actually done so far in your journey to become an ASEAN engineer. So what is next for you? And today I'm going to share with you some exciting events and updates on AER to you, and what are the expectations, as well as also some new things that we are actually embarking on in AER itself. And of course, let me share with you just some of the exciting activities that we are actually trying to actually promote in AER. Maybe can I share my screen? Would I be able to share my screen? Okay, sure.
Our Zoom masters kindly grant co-hosting capabilities to Yao Chao Fong.
If not, then okay. Okay, thanks. Sure. Okay. So AER and you, I believe I'm going to go quickly on the benefits of joining AER as a whole, and what you actually can benefit from by joining us. Well, first of all, I believe it has also been mentioned by Dr. Michelle Lawas just now. We are into an unprecedented time, the COVID pandemic, but all these are not affecting the mobility of engineers. Like I always want to actually share with all of you. Well, we know that the pandemic has actually restricted the movement of engineers from, let's say, from Philippines to Malaysia, from Malaysia to Cambodia, within the ASEAN region. But the mobility is not just physical mobility, but we are actually looking at virtual mobility. And this is why we are here today. We are able to communicate with people from Oman, or even from Saudi Arabia, or even from Qatar, or any engineers in Middle East. So mobility has been actually been able to be done virtually, although the pandemic has actually restricted the movements. So with mobility, we are able to actually recognize the ASEAN engineers among the ASEAN region, as well as also regionally outside ASEAN, for example, Middle East or Asia Pacific as well. Well, this is actually imminent as well. By having the ASEAN engineers recognition, I believe you are able to actually mobilize yourself not only within Philippines, within Middle East, but also to other countries in ASEAN. For example, Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, and so forth. So the opportunities are there. For example, seen from the screen above, there are opportunities in businesses, opportunity in jobs, and of course also sharing of knowledge to other countries in the ASEAN region. Not only ASEAN region, there is also other regions, for example, Asia Pacific, or the recently signed RCEP, where it actually involves other countries in ASEAN as well. So these are the opportunities for not only Philippine engineers, but also engineers from other countries within ASEAN. So I would urge all of you to look at this, and of course, how we can actually mobilize yourself, and of course, to practice in other countries within ASEAN. Now, just to share as well with you on AER membership, I'm proud that today you'll be admitted as one of the ASEAN engineers in the ASEAN Engineering Register, where we have 9,942 registered engineers so far. So you are one of them. And that actually opened up a lot of opportunities for you as one of the ASEAN engineers to actually interact with other ASEAN engineers all over ASEAN countries. So we have 9,900 of them. And in fact, the list is growing. And in fact, by August, we should be able to reach more than 10,000 members. And this is actually creating a lot of networking opportunities for ASEAN engineers. Why do I say so? Well, we are developing the database of engineers where by end of the year, all the 10,000 ASEAN engineers, registered ASEAN engineers, are able to actually search each other in this particular database. For example, once you are admitted as an ASEAN engineer, if you are looking for an engineer, for example, in Thailand, you are able to actually search the website, search the contacts, the specializations, and so on. And you can actually find the right engineer and, of course, communicate with them. So this is the opportunity for you. Not only that, in AER or in RFIO or even in ASEAN Engineering Register, we are looking at also updating the engineering capabilities. I'm sure whatever you have actually learned till today is not enough because of like what I think the earlier speaker has mentioned, the technology advancement and of course the knowledge sharing is immense. It is tremendous in the world. So AER itself has been conducting webinars to upskill the knowledge of ASEAN engineers, and also, of course, to actually enhance the knowledge that you have actually gained. Now, we have been doing a lot of webinars, including also webinars by Middle East speakers. So we actually encourage, or even in future, we would also like to invite speakers from Oman or Saudi Arabia to share with our engineers in ASEAN about the latest in the Middle East as well. So we look forward for that, and definitely after today's event, I will definitely be approaching PTC as well as also your associations to actually invite you to actually speak in our future webinars. Now, not only that, this is actually a very good statistics. We have actually completed more than 40 webinars for the last 1 year, over 4,000 participants, and covering about 25 countries, and averaging about 1 webinar per 2 weeks. So this is where we disseminate the knowledge on engineering to our members, and it's all free of charge now. Not only that, I think the other avenue of networking in AER is, of course, our usual CAFIO, as well as also midterm CAFIO. Unfortunately, I believe you are unable to actually travel to, for example, CAFIO maybe in another 1 or 2 years because of the pandemic. But we have actually approached the institutions to actually do it virtually. So this also opens up a lot of opportunities for participants in Middle East to actually participate in AFIO as well as also CAFIO in the coming future. So don't be on the lookout on the latest. We're going to have our midterm AFIO meeting from 4th and 7th August, which is 2 weeks from now, and CAFIO 39, which will be held virtually in Brunei at the end of the year. So be on the lookout and of course approach PTC as well to register yourself to join the activities. And not only that, AER also looks at the engineering practice and standards, and we have the working groups, we have also the inspectorate groups. I think PTC is very active in the boiler inspection led by Engineer Romulo, and of course other working groups as well. And I will encourage ASEAN engineers to join as a committee or even observers to actually learn more about the latest in the various working groups as well as also committees. And we are actually very proud that we are currently also developing ASEAN guidelines, and we are supposed to launch 4 guidelines by end of this year, which is on boiler, building inspection, we also manufacturing as well as electrical inspection as well. So this could be launched by end of the year. And we've been doing a lot of like stakeholders sharing and of course meetings as well. And there are also upcoming webinars as well being arranged. In fact, there will be one by end of this month, which is next week. And there are a lot of other webinars upcoming, and we encourage all of you to join us virtually as well. And not to forget, AER also looks at how we can enhance the wealth of ASEAN. We do a lot of networking activities, business networking, sharing, and so forth, and also collaboration with other ASEAN institutions as well. And the next one that we'll be organizing would be a business networking platform session during midterm, where we would actually be focusing on digitalization. So how we can actually promote digitalization, what they call business among the ASEAN engineers. So be on the lookout and join us, and you could actually share or even actually participate in this event where we'll be inviting speakers from various countries to talk about opportunities of digitalization in ASEAN. And we also invite companies to promote digitalization that they have, and they can actually network with other countries in the ASEAN region. So all these of course, not to forget the recognition in our AER as well. Today is also the day that you actually receive your medal and certificate as a recognition of you as being an ASEAN engineer or associate ASEAN engineer or other categories of ASEAN engineers. Not to forget, we're going to come out with a membership card as well by end of the year. And yes, today is a conferment ceremony. Now, I'm very proud of PTC as well, especially Engineer Romelo as well as Engineer Fred, where you actually pioneered the virtual ceremony. And a lot of like our countries are also going to follow suit to do virtual conferment. And I'm actually like to congratulate to all conferees of the ASEAN Engineer Certification today as well. It is a recognition, and it's also a new norm for us. We used to do conferment physically, but we have actually changed it to virtual, and I think it's also very meaningful, where we used to actually do it in a ceremony in a CAFIO or even a midterm, but this time I think it is done virtually. And I also like the idea where I think family members are also able to join, although they are in other countries or even in back home in the Philippines. So this is something that is actually very meaningful to ASEAN engineers as well. So in short, I think we look forward, let's work together between all the institutions and also between the ASEAN engineers. We address the challenges that we have to actually achieve mobility. And of course, we also work with partners regionally and beyond the region as well. We work with a lot of other associations and institutions, and we want to actually get the ASEAN engineers achieve mobility effectively. And of course, this could be done. And today, I just want to end this. Just now, I think Tracy has mentioned, just ponder this. Without engineer, science is just a philosophy. So how important you are as an engineer. And we hope that this would actually give you another recognition today. And congratulations once again to all conferees today. And thank you for inviting me. And I look forward to see you in our future events. Thank you once again. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that very informative presentation and information as well. IR Yao Chao Fong. Thank you so much. And if I may ask, IR Yao Chao Fong, is it available in the website? Where can you find the information that you have shared with us just recently?
My slides are not verbal, but I can share the slides to you, the organizer, through PTC. I can actually send you the slides. And of course, most of the information are available in the website, especially the upcoming events. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, be updated. Always visit the website and also to be abreast with the latest in the webinars that is being offered by the AER. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause to our guest speaker, IR Yao Chao Fong. At this juncture, let me present to you the next presenter to introduce our keynote speaker for tonight. Our next presenter is the chapter governor of the Integrated Electronics Engineer of the Philippines, Sultanate of Oman, from 2019 up to present. He is also one of the conferees for tonight. To introduce our keynote speaker, please help me welcome Engineer Jimmy C. Santos.
Thank you very much, Engineer Harris. Is my audio clear?
Yes, it's loud and clear.
So good evening, everyone. So it's a privilege to introduce our next speaker. Our speaker is a graduate of the University of the Philippines with a degree, Bachelor of Arts, major in Political Science. She also earned units for Masters in International Studies from the same university. Her professional career in Philippine Foreign Services is an epitome of the literal term, working your way up. She climbed the ladder and flourished, building up her qualifications and profile by attending seminars, training, and conferences. Adopted and unfazed with the challenges of working in the foreign land, more so in the Gulf region. She started her career as a clerk in the Office of Cultural Affairs and Foreign Services in 1991, and in the Office of the Undersecretary for International Economics Relations in 1992, and later became the Principal Assistant at the Office of Consular Affairs, Department of Foreign Affairs, before she started her tour of duty outside the Philippines. Her tour of duty outside the Philippines in the Philippine Foreign Service started in the Philippine Embassy, Islamabad, Pakistan, from 1995 to 1996, as third secretary and vice consul. And then she became vice consul and then consul at the Philippine Embassy, Jeddah, Kingdom, Saudi Arabia from 1996 to 2001. She also became acting director of the Office of Middle East and African Affairs of DFA from 2001 to 2003. Also, first secretary and consul, Philippine Embassy, Manama, Bahrain from 2003 to 2006. And then she also served as consul, then became the Deputy Consul General at the Philippine Consulate in Ontario, Canada from 2006 to 2009. She's also the director of the Office of the Middle East and African Affairs until 2011. She also served as the Deputy Chief of Mission and Consul General in the Philippine Embassy, Jakarta, Indonesia from 2011 to 2014. And a Deputy Consul General at the Philippine Consulate, Los Angeles, California, USA from 2014 to 2015. And then she came back and became the Consul General at the Philippine Embassy in Jeddah, Kingdom, Saudi Arabia from 2015 to 2017. At present, she is the chairperson for Bids and Awards Committee of the Office of the Undersecretary for Administration of the Department of Foreign Affairs. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow conferees and guests, please join me in welcoming Her Excellency Imelda M. Panolong, Philippine Ambassador to the Sultanate of Oman, for her keynote message.
His Excellency Adnan Alonto, Philippine Ambassador to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, officers and members of the Oman chapter of the Institute of Electronics Engineers of the Philippines, or IECP, officers and members of the IECEP-KSA-CRC and the PSME-CRSA, officers of the Philippine Technological Council, Middle East and North Africa, honored guests, colleagues in the government service, ladies and gentlemen, mga kababayan, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is truly an honor for me to be one of your speakers today on the conferment of ASEAN engineers from Oman and Saudi Arabia. In the course of my career, most of my assignments overseas are to Philippine Foreign Service posts in the Middle East, particularly the Gulf states. I can truly say that in this region, the engineering profession has always been a source of pride for our country. I have seen the successes of many of our engineers in various fields, from the building of roads, bridges, and skyscrapers, the management of oil fields, to the development of the critical telecommunications infrastructure. The excellent technical skills of the Filipino engineer have made possible the transformation of these once arid and desert nations into economically developed, modern, urbanized, and industrial hubs. The dedication and professionalism of the Filipino engineer is known far and wide. Perhaps the reason why, despite the nationalization program of the Gulf countries, many of you have continued to maintain your jobs and even prospered. The ASEAN Engineer Conferment ceremonies today is a testament to the achievements not only of today's recipients but of the entire Philippine engineering profession. I congratulate the recipients, particularly the 7 members of the Oman chapter of the IECEP, Engineer Eddie Trefaldor, Engineer Ronald Tanagon, Engineer Richel Robles, Engineer Anne Doreen Salido de los Reyes, Engineer Clevion Paul Taporco, Engineer Jenny de la Cruz, and Engineer Jimmy Santos. This opportunity, which is a product of your years of hard work, will truly open new doors for you. As an ASEAN engineer, you widen your prospects to new markets for your expertise. This may better your employment opportunities and at the same time expand your network to establish strategic alliances with colleagues in the profession and share knowledge, capability, and technology. This pandemic has taught us lessons on uncertainties and risks, which I know many of you as engineers are very much familiar with. Becoming an ASEAN engineer would advance your own careers even at these uncertain times. Also, in preparation for the global recovery post-pandemic, having this distinction as an ASEAN engineer readies you for the future to participate and contribute to projects that are needed to pump prime national economies that were almost put to a standstill by this worldwide malaise. As you once were part of the vital workforce that made megacities rise from the deserts, I am confident that the Filipino ASEAN engineer will also lead the recovery of nations badly affected by this pandemic. My felicitations again to the new ASEAN engineers from Oman and Saudi Arabia. We are truly, truly proud of you. Mabuhay po kayo. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you so much to the Honorable Her Excellency, the Honorable Imelda M. Panolong, the Ambassador, Philippine Embassy in Sultanate of Oman. Our country, the bloodline of every country, lies deeply on its citizens. And at this juncture, this is the moment that we have all been waiting for. Some conferees have been waiting for this moment for 2 years. And at this juncture, for us to learn more who is charging our conferees, please help me welcome to the virtual lectern our next presenter. To introduce our charging officer for this evening, please help me welcome. He is the Chapter Vice Governor for Internal Affairs, IECEP-KSA Central Region Chapter. Please help me welcome Engineer Maynard M. Pasig.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Engineer Harris. Can you hear me? It's clear?
Yes, loud and clear. Loud and clear.
The voice, please. Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, here in the Middle East, and good evening, Philippines, and to the rest of the ASEAN countries. Mga kababayan, magandang araw po sa inyong lahat at mabuhay. Assalamu alaikum and Eid Mubarak to all our Muslim brothers and sisters. Before we move to the core of the program, it is my pleasure to have this opportunity to introduce to all of you our PTC dignitary who will properly charge our 20 conferees. It's no other than Engineer Romy Apagatet. To mention a few of his countless recognitions, he was awarded as the Outstanding Electronics Engineer by IECEP, as the Outstanding Professional by the PRC in 1996, and as the Outstanding ASEAN Engineer by OFEO in 2001. He was the National President of the Institute of Electronics Engineers of the Philippines in the year 2004, 2005, and 2009, and was then the Chairman of the Philippine Electronics Code of IECEP. Engineer Romy was very instrumental to the formulation and passing of Republic Act 9292, or the Electronics Engineering Law of 2004. He is the President and CEO of TeleGlobal Corp, a principal in RR Agatep Engineering Consultants, and so the Chairman of International Relations Committee and the Country Registrar of the ASEAN Engineering Registry of the Philippine Technological Council. Let us all give our warm welcome with a round of applause the legend, Engineer Romulo Ramos Agatep.
Yeah, Thank you, Engineer Pesig, for that very kind introduction. Maraming salamat. How about my audio? Can you hear my audio?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Yes, sir. Good, good. So anyway, I still have to adjust a little bit. So maybe what we can do now is to put the screen in the gallery mode so that we can see all those people to be conferred. Okay, that's nice. So anyway, okay. Gagandang lalaki at babae. To all the dignitaries present today, to all the conferees and their families, to the organizers of today's conferment, friends from APEO, other guests present today, ladies and gentlemen, magandang hapon sa Middle East at magandang gabi rito sa Pilipinas. So to all the conferees present, I would like to first to congratulate you, of course, with your families, because about 20 of you will be conferred today and will be added to the list of new ASEAN engineers, no? Which about, as the IR commissioner says, about almost 9,000, crossing the 10,000 mark. And in 2 minutes, you will be inducted into that elite group in the company of about, as I said, about at least 10,000 ASEAN engineers into the engineering register. Composed of this engineering register of the 10 ASEAN countries, no, and professional engineers. And you are there, you will be inducted into that list of professional engineers because your qualification and competency has been benchmarked internationally. Professional registration provides you an internationally recognized standard and competence, commitment, giving the public, the employers and clients confident in your engineering skills. But before that, you have to undergo conferment. So what is conferment? And it has several stages, no? You will be charged, you will be taking your oath of office, then we have the what we call the pinning ceremonies, then the putting of SAS, then medallion, I will give you putting of the medallion, and finally giving you the certificate, no? So why charging? So what is charging? So why conferment? So conferment is an act of giving you the official title as ASEAN Engineer or Associate ASEAN Engineer, ASEAN Technologist or ASEAN Technician. It's also a celebration that you attain a degree of advantage, being conferred the title of an ASEAN Engineer or Associate ASEAN Engineer, ASEAN Technologist and Technician. And you can now put the title in your name before, the prenominal, the title ASEAN Engineer, or after your name as ASEAN Engineer. So why charging? Bakit there is a charging in our conferment ceremonies? Why don't we just get the title of ASEAN Engineer? So charging is serve as a reminder of the basic principle that an ASEAN Engineer goes by and stands for. It is also to appraise the conferees. It is to appraise you, the new incoming ASEAN Engineer, about the duties and responsibilities being in the engineering registers. No? We are just charging you, we are just reminding you to what are your duties and responsibilities. And that is the reason why we request your families to be with you. So that once you forget what you have been take your oath, maybe your family will remind you about your duties and responsibilities being in the engineering registers. Then after that, of course, you have to take your oath of office. And if you take your oath of office, it's a solemn promise, no? It's a solemn promise regarding your future action and behavior. The words you say, the words you will say in your oath is a binding. It's a binding contract to hold you accountable to your actions, your behavior, and ultimately your decisions. No? When you say, I solemnly swear, this is your personal commitment to uphold the basic principle that an engineer in the engineering register goes by and stands for. So of course, you get your medallion. Of course, the pinning ceremonies, and the pinning ceremonies is symbolic welcoming you as a newly installed ASEAN engineer, associate ASEAN engineer, or ASEAN technician or technologist. It also signify your acknowledgement and acceptance of your duties and responsibilities. Now, the SAS ceremony, you put your SAS, and what is that? It is a symbol of distinction. It is a symbol of honor. It is a symbol of achievement or an award. So after that, then you will get your medal, then you will get your certificate. Of course, this is the proof that you really achieved being ASEAN engineer or associate ASEAN engineer. Kumbaga sa ano, this is your license, no? That they say, okay, you are now ASEAN engineer because you have the medallion and because you have the certificate. So, are you now ready to be charged and take the responsibility being an ASEAN engineer or associate ASEAN engineer or associate technician? So maybe you can adjust your camera, and I would like you to please stand. And if those who have SAS with them, please put your SAS. The ASEAN engineer who was SAS, who was attending today, who was SAS in them. So please put your SAS. I have my SAS and I have my medallion with me. So now, okay, are you now ready to be charged of your duties and responsibilities? I think the silence means yes. Okay, so please listen intently. Of course, the families, I would also like you to listen. Your admission to the engineering register is based on your qualification and expertise in your field of specialization. It is also based on the premise that you are in sympathy with ASEAN Engineering Register mission and vision, and is prepared to help the ASEAN Engineering Register in translating those mission and vision into realities. Being in the engineering register is an honor and privilege, but it involves corresponding duties and obligations. You should remember, being an ASEAN engineer is not just an additional page in your curriculum vitae. Those responsible in getting you into the engineering register expect something from you, and you will be judged on what you have done or what you have not done. I must remind you, as an ASEAN engineer, you are required to practice only within the limits of your competency. You are to demonstrate a personal commitment to professional standards, recognizing obligation to society, the profession, and the environment. In the practice of your profession, you must be guided always by the code of conduct and ethics, honesty, justice, and courtesy. You must recognize a standard, not in passive observance, but as a dynamic principles guiding your conduct and way of life. The keystone of professional conduct is integrity. Hence, it is your responsibility to discharge your duties with fidelity to the public, your employers and clients with fairness and impartiality. It is your duty to interest yourself in public welfare and be ready to apply your special knowledge for the benefit of your fellow men. You should uphold the honor and dignity of your profession. Avoid association with any enterprise, people of questionable character, and in your dealings with your fellow engineers, you should be fair and tolerant. You have to undergo a continuing professional development at a satisfactory level and to maintain a record of your CPD for audit purposes. You must submit a certified independent engineering practice during the last 3 years when you renew your registration in the engineering register. Being in the engineering register, something more has been done than merely being in the register. You have been made ambassador of ASEAN Engineers Ideals. Those who know you will judge ASEAN Engineer by your conduct. You are expected to guide those who like to be in the register to become an ASEAN Engineer. Let me remind you the two virtues if you are in the register: involvement and commitment. Involvement means being the forefront and center of the PTC program in your association, not being in the receiving end and working from the sidelines. And commitment means accepting added responsibilities when your participation or services are being tapped by the Philippine Technological Council or the Institute of Electronics Engineers of the Philippines in the fulfillment of its mission and advocacy. Now listen carefully. If you think you cannot live up to the above mentioned requirements, relinquish the position. Now may I ask you, are you ready to be conferred as ASEAN Engineer, Associate ASEAN Engineer, ASEAN Technician and Technologist, with the challenges and responsibilities that goes with it?
Yes, we are ready, sir.
Okay, so
Yes, sir.
the Honorable President Fred Monsada of the Philippine Technological Council, our companies are now ready to take their oath of office.
Okay, thank you very much, Country Registrar Romulo Agatep. So may I ask all the conferees to listen and raise your right hand and follow after me. Okay. I state your name.
I,
Wilson Bernard Nuevo,
Having been admitted to the ASEAN Engineering Register,
having been admitted to the ASEAN Engineering Register,
do hereby solemnly swear that in the fulfillment of my professional services, I shall always hold my responsibility for the welfare, health, and safety of the community.
I shall always hold my responsibility for the welfare, health, and safety of the community.
Before my responsibility to sectional or private interest or to other members.
Before my responsibility to the sectional or private interest or the other members.
I shall act with honor, integrity, and dignity.
I shall act with honor, integrity, and dignity.
As to merit the continued trust and confidence of the community.
As to merit the continued trust and confidence of the community.
And thereby enhance the honor, reputation, and usefulness of my profession.
And thereby enhance the honor, reputation, and usefulness of my profession.
I shall act with honesty, good faith, and equity.
I shall act with honesty, good faith, and equity.
and without discrimination towards all in the community.
and without discrimination towards all in the community.
I shall act and perform services only in areas of my competence.
I shall act and perform services only in areas of my competence
and in a careful and diligent manner.
And in a careful and diligent manner.
I shall apply my skills and knowledge in the interest of my employer or client.
I shall apply my skills and knowledge in the interest of my employer or client,
for whom I shall act as a faithful agent or trustee,
for whom I shall act as a faithful agent or trustee,
with integrity and without compromising any obligation under these tenets.
with integrity and without compromising any other obligations under these tenets.
I shall, where relevant, take reasonable steps to keep myself, my clients, and employers properly and continually informed.
I shall, where relevant, take reasonable steps to keep myself, clients, employers properly and continually informed
of the social, environmental, economic, and other possible consequences which may arise from my actions.
of the social, environmental, economic, and other possible consequences which may arise from my actions.
I shall express opinions, issue public statements, or give evidence with fairness and honesty.
I shall express opinions, issue public statements, or give evidence with fairness and honesty.
And only on the basis of adequate knowledge and facts established through diligent and careful research.
And only on the basis of adequate knowledge and facts established through diligent and careful research.
I shall continue to develop relevant knowledge, skills, and expertise throughout my professional career.
I shall continue to develop relevant knowledge, skills, and expertise throughout my professional career.
And shall actively assist and encourage those with whom I am associated to do the same.
And shall actively assist and encourage those with whom I am associated to do the same.
And I shall at all times avoid deceptive acts and not assist in or induce any breach of these tenets.
And I shall at all times avoid deceptive acts and not assist or induce in any breach of these tenets.
And the codes of my legal professional affiliations.
And the codes of my legal professional affiliations.
But rather endeavor to support those who seek to uphold them if called upon or put in a position to do so.
But rather endeavor to support those who seek to uphold them if called upon or put in a position to do so.
That I impose upon myself these obligations voluntarily.
And that I impose upon myself these obligations voluntarily.
Without mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
Without mental reservations or purpose of evasion.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations to all of you. And you may now use the nominal title ASEAN Engineer, or if you are a technologist, ASEAN Technologist, and if you are a technician, ASEAN Technician. Okay, so again, congratulations to all of you and to all your family, respective families.
To the Honorable PTC President, Fred Bonsada, and Sir Romulo, may I request everyone to please stay on their cameras and have a photo opportunity with our conferees, our ASEAN Engineer Registry. Hi, Yao Chao Fong, please join us. All right, everyone, please look into the camera, adjust your frame, give your brilliant smile, and we're going to take a screenshot. Everybody taking the screenshot in 3, 2, 1. All right, one more, please. One more. Ready? If our national president, our ICEP board of directors and officers can also join us, kindly open your camera so that you will be included in the participants with the video, because that is our mode right now. All the participants that doesn't have a video will not be included in the photo. Ready? Taking the screenshot. All right, I think somebody mentioned that he was restricted. Can can our technical committee assist AER Ong Chong Yong?
It's available.
All right, thank you. All right, ready? Taking the screenshot. Let's go first to the first page because we have 49 attendees and we have a jam-packed virtual avenue. Let me start with the first page. Flash your brilliant smile. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay, next page. Page number 2. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Thank you, everyone. Congratulations. We are now going to proceed to the pinning of PT scheme, wearing of sash, and awarding of medallions. Over to our technical committee. Let us show them our pammalakasan slides. And don't worry, for those who were not able to, I believe some of them missed the photo, there will be another photo opportunity later on to the program. So please stay tuned and witness this momentous event of pinning the PTC pin, wearing of sash, awarding of medallions and certificates. When I was asked to become the master of ceremony for this virtual conferment, I believe that it is really impossible to do a virtual pinning and wearing of sash. However, IECEP-KSA-CRC found an ingenious way on how to present this momentous pinning of PTC pin, wearing of sash, and awarding of medallions and certificates. Let us all witness this innovative technique that the IECEP-KSA-CRC has installed for us.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us acknowledge our ISEP Oman ASEAN conferees.
Engineer Jenny S. De La Cruz, PECE, a professional electronics engineer specializing in operations and project management. Currently working as project manager and ID proposal coordinator for Parsons Canada. Responsible in delivering, implementing, and managing ID projects in the Middle East region. After completing MBA degree, she is currently pursuing another graduate degree, Master of Science in Big Data Analytics with Trent University in Ontario, Canada. The first Filipina to be hired as an IT lecturer at Shiraz College of Technology, Oman, and was the first and only Filipino who held a managerial position at Parsons, Oman. Managed the IT operations of Parsons Oman office for more than 13 years prior to relocating to Parsons, Canada. Has 21 years of vast experience in trainings, in the field of design, preparation of bid proposals, project coordination, implementation and managing of IT operations and infrastructure. Engineer Jenny S. De La Cruz. Engineer Richelle N. Robles, PECE, a professional electronics engineer specializing in engineering education, currently working as laboratory technical instructor at the University of Technology and Applied Sciences, formerly Higher College of Technology in Muscat, Sultanate of Oman, responsible for delivering practical subjects in electronics and communications engineering program, as well as developing laboratory manuals, related practical handouts, and learning materials. She has 20 years of combined work experience in the Philippines, Oman, and Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. A founding member of IECEP Oman chapter in 2017 and currently serving as board of director. Engineer Richelle N. Robles. Engineer Anne Doreen A. Salido, PECE, a professional electronics engineer with specialization in installation engineering in mobile telecommunications network. Currently working as installation engineering design and coordinator for Ericsson Oman LLC in Muscat, Oman. Has more than 21 years of experience in mobile network and played a significant role in the end-to-end process of network rollout by providing leadership and technical support on installation engineering department. Main job responsibilities include radio site installation engineering, covering radio and transmission, site materials dimensioning and bill of quantity, project cost reconciliation, change request, and materials inventory. Awarded with Market Middle East Africa Star Award last January 2019 for her meticulous tracking of framework ordering and invoicing. She has worked in network rollout that carried out 2G, 3G, LTE, and 5G projects in various countries named Philippines, Oman, United Arab Emirates, Tanzania, and Bahrain. Currently serving as Board of Director for IECEP Oman Chapter. Engineer Anne Doreen A. Salido. Santos, PECE, MSME. A professional electronics engineer specialized in engineering education and engineering management and supervision. A graduate of Master of Science in Management Engineering at University of Pangasinan, and one of the pioneer engineering graduates at the Philippine College of Science and Technology. He has more than 2 decades of experience in the academy, apart from teaching ECE and allied engineering subjects. He handled various positions as college dean and ECE department head in several colleges and universities in the Philippines, prior to his current position as the Physics Laboratory Supervisor at the University of Technology and Applied Sciences, Higher College of Technology, Muscat, Sultanate of Oman. Some of his key roles as laboratory supervisor includes overseeing the daily operation of the laboratory, ensuring compliance with policies and procedures in the Department Quality Assurance Manual, monitoring the implementation of the risk, health, and safety policies and procedures, and he manages the requisition for purchases of laboratory equipment and consumables. He is one of the founding members of IECEP Oman chapter and is serving the organization as the chapter governor since 2019 to present. Engineer Jimmy C. Santos. Engineer Ronald P. Tanagon, PECE, a professional electronics engineer specializing in mobile network telecommunications, currently working as expert operation fulfillment for Ooredoo Oman, overseeing the overall network performance to ensure a best-in-class delivery of services by enforcing a set of service levels and key performance indicators to the entire network operations and the mitigation of predictable network operational risk. He has 16 years of experience in network transmission, project implementation, and operation and maintenance, from transmission department member to perform circuit provisioning and operation, to backbone optical transport network, synchronous digital hierarchy network, and last mile fiber optic cable connections. A representative for submarine cable landing station, and perform terrestrial operations and maintenance for TGN 12 subsea cable systems and Southeast Asia, Middle East, Western Europe 5 submarine cable systems. He is one of the founding members of IECEP Oman chapter and is currently serving as the chapter vice governor for internal affairs. Engineer Ronald P. Tanagon. Engineer Cledeon Paul P. Taporco, PECE. a professional electronics engineer specializing in mobile telecommunications operation, currently working as a section head network field services for Ooredoo Oman, spearheading the entire field workforce, responsible for maintaining and operating active and passive network infrastructure. Has 18 years of experience in radio network planning and optimization. A member of the core team that pioneered the design and planning of radio antenna modularization that paved way for the rapid and seamless introduction of 3G and 4G services. Recently recognized for the successful implementation of 5G network over existing network infrastructure for Ooredoo Oman. He is one of the founding director of IECEP Oman in 2017. Engineer Cledeon Paul P. Taporco. Engineer Rady M. Trifalgar, PECE, a professional electronics engineer with specialization on radio products value pricing for mobile telecommunication network. He is currently working as price manager and based on Ericsson Oman LLC in Muscat, Oman. Has more than 16 years of experience in mobile telecommunications from site engineering, technical sales, and currently as price manager. Played a significant role in supporting the key account management on strategy and business case for a commercial proposal, covering Gulf countries, specifically Oman, UAE, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar under Market Area Middle East and Africa with different operators and enterprise. His role includes supporting to offer end-to-end network, mixed technologies from 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, transport and core solution. His role also extends to support network upgrade, network migration, and network modernization. He is also supporting other countries to bid beside his primary responsibility, like Africa. He is the founding president of IECEP Oman in 2017 and currently member of the board of directors for IECEP Oman chapter. Engineer Rady M. Trifalgar.
Without further ado, let us acknowledge and duly recognize our IECEP-KSA-CRC ASEAN Conferees.
Engineer Wilson Bernard F. Año Nuevo, ECP, an electronics engineer specializing in telecommunications, currently working as IT Access Network Engineer at SP De Loraya Incorporated, Huawei ARP, responsible for managing the subcontracting teams, streamline the project team, and competitor resources for Dito Telecommunity Philippines, South Luzon region. Also worked on different international telecommunications companies such as Bazi Company, Saudi Telecom Company, as a telecom support engineer, and Cedar Group APD, STC Mobile and Zain, as quality engineer for implementation of PowerCube for STC USF project. Has 11 years of experience in telecom field industry, which involves datacoms, fixed access, optical and wireless communication in both design, implementation, troubleshooting, and maintenance. Have a strong background, TCP, IP, and hands-on experience on different software and hardware telecom equipment. Currently studying cross-domain, product, designing and implementation of GPON network for Dito Telecommunity. Engineer Wilson Bernard F. Año-Nuevo. Romel B. Diona, ECT. An electronics engineer with more than 7 years of overseas and local experience in biomedical field, handling X-ray and ultrasound machines. In the Philippines, he specialized in various biomed equipment such as electrocardiogram, cardiac stress test, defibrillator, anesthesia machine, patient monitor, endoscopy, ultrasound, CT scan, and IP network system. Currently working as biomed engineer at Hoja Contracting Establishment in Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. He has extensive experience and training in the field of design, project management, product proposal and demo, technical report, design electrical circuits, site inspection, installation, corrective and preventive maintenance, calibration, and users training and maintaining safety operations. A member of IECEP-KSA-CRC and a member of the Biomedical Society of the Philippines. Romel B. Diona. Engineer Ronnie A. Escobar, ECE. An electronics engineer specializing in project engineering implementation in telecommunications with focus on outside plant and inside plant fiber optic cable design, splicing, testing, and commissioning. Currently working as a telecommunications site field engineer at the Ministry of Defense, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Has over 24 years vast experience and training in the field of design, mobilization, project coordination, troubleshooting of copper cable and fiber optic cable. He volunteers his time in conducting fiber optic trainings to ECE students in the Philippines and fellow OFWs in Saudi Arabia for the IECEP-KSA-CRC. And by heart, he engaged himself in various corporate social responsibility projects, both in the Philippines and KSA. An active member, currently serves as the chapter treasurer of IECEP-KSA-CRC and a member of Federation of Professional and Expatriates Association of Chief of Polices of the Philippines Incorporated. Engineer Ronnie A. Escobar. Noywen A. Hetigan, an electronics engineering practitioner specializing in the field of computer and applications engineering, voice and data networks, information and communications engineering, and low current systems. Currently working as an Information Systems Analyst 1 at Philippine Statistics Authority, Provincial Statistical Office, Province of Samar. Has over 14 years of experience with extensive involvement in system design, planning, project coordination, implementation, installation, startup and commissioning, technical training, after-sales troubleshooting, and support in the field of computer, electronics, and applications engineering. While based in the Philippines since 2019, still continues to be a regular member of IECEP-KSA-CRC. Noywen A. Hetigan. Francisco L. Ponce, ECP, a computer engineer with more than 7 years of experience from different fields of information and communications technology. Currently an IT administrator for Bayer Group Philippines under Unison Computer Systems Incorporated, primarily focused on IT network infrastructure and equipment maintenance and monitoring. He worked as Computer Integrated Manufacturing CIM support engineer responsible for the installation and maintenance of CIM applications in a semiconductor company. As an IT specialist in a system integrator company, primarily focused on design and configuration of wireless network, indoor and outdoor implementation, including wireless backhaul installation using 5 GHz radio equipment, and was an IT network engineer assigned to manage the Layer 2 switching of enterprise local area network of a government agency in Saudi Arabia. A member of the IECEP-KSA-CRC, Francisco L. Ponce. Engineer Jessie Flor B. Henesiano, PECE, a professional electronics engineer trained and specialized in information and communications technology. He has worked with the Ministry of Defense and Aviation of the Royal Saudi Land Forces and the Ministry of Defense of the Afghan National Army mentored by the United States and NATO forces. He has more than 15 years of extensive engineering experience working abroad with involvements in the design, implementation, coordination, commissioning, scheduling, installation, integration, troubleshooting, and maintenance of various projects. He also plans and manages team schedules and workloads. He is currently working at a company that implements OSP, ISP rollout projects for Globe Telecom. Engineer Jesse Flor V. Henesiano. Engineer Arnagel C. Pakam, PECE. A professional electronics engineer specializing in the field of electronics engineering systems, such as audio-visual, ELV, and ICT for more than 16 years. With more than 5 years of teaching experience with the Universidad de Zamboanga. He also gained certifications in audiovisual industry such as AVIXA, Extron, Crestron, AMX, Harman, Atlona, and other known manufacturers. A graduate of both electronics engineering and computer engineering in Universidad de Zamboanga, and currently pursuing his master's in information technology with AMA University's online education. An active member of IECEP-KSA-CRC and currently serves as the sports chairman. Engineer Arnagel C. Pakam.
Now, let us acknowledge and recognize our very own PSMECRSA ASEAN Conference.
Engineer Freddy C. Bugarin, ME. A highly motivated professional with almost 15 years extensive and diversified mechanical engineering experience in all facets of major construction projects in manufacturing environment, industrial, hotel, hospitals, high-rise and horizontal housing and offices, university and commercial buildings, infrastructure and operation and maintenance in Philippines and overseas. Currently working as a senior mechanical engineer of MDAD Architects and Engineers, with a robust engineering approach to handle, manage, and complete HVAC, plumbing, and fire protection design verifications and installation of multiple projects from small to large scale. Knowledgeable in the preparation of technical specifications, estimation, and costing and bill of quantities. Well-versed in international codes and standards such as ASHRAE, SMACMA, NFPA, IPC, ASPE, UTC, and proficient in different programs such as Carrier Hapload software, McQuay software, and MS Office application. Proficient in Autodesk software such as AutoCAD. Engineer Freddy C. Bugari. Engineer Marco Benson and Diego, ME. A highly skilled individual who believes that through training and learning new skills, develop to become a more effective mechanical engineer in his field of work. He is also a well-versed engineer with over 10 years of experience in the field of building construction, HVAC systems, plumbing systems, AutoCAD, and among other major skills as a senior mechanical engineer at Excellence Choice Contracting Establishment in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. As a senior mechanical engineer, includes the functions in estimating manufacturing project costs and timelines, making recommendations on system efficiency and safety, and performing general engineering duties such as development and testing of machines. He engages in design, research, build, test, and improve mechanical and electrical devices, equipment, and systems. Also proficient in CAD to design powerful machines like generators, turbines, and engines. Engineer Marco Benson M. Diendo. Engineer Juniden Saif P. Felina, PME. A professional mechanical engineer with 15 years in-depth experience in project management, consultancy, manufacturing, construction and design firms, both in the Philippines and Saudi Arabia. Equipped with superb knowledge in preparing technical reports and layouts, both shop drawing and design drawing, design and calculation, and site operation and inspection. He handled various projects like high-rise office and residential buildings, malls and hospitals, and has in-depth knowledge of present construction industry standards and building codes. His main goal as an engineer is to help and be part of designing and building a safer and livable place. Engineer Juniden Saif P. Felina. Engineer Marlon R. Manzano, ME. A mechanical engineer for more than 20 years of extensive experience specializing in HVAC, plumbing, and firefighting systems. He worked with Qatar Ras Laffan Port expansion projects, an industrial hub and maritime engineering project of Qatar. And now, currently working at Neom, province of Tabuk, as a mechanical supervision engineer with East Consulting Engineering Center Company based in Riyadh. A highly efficient, hardworking, and talented mechanical engineer with comprehensive understanding of mechanical engineering principles and construction methods. Experience in all phases of construction and field implementation, testing, and commissioning. Engineer Marlon R. Manzano. Engineer Joshua Francisco B. Palces, M.E., a dedicated individual with vast knowledge in mechanical engineering with 11 years of experience in building construction, such as high-rise and low-rise commercial and hotel buildings, medical facilities, and schools. Currently working as a senior mechanical engineer at Technical Electromechanical Works Company Limited, a private contracting company in Saudi Arabia. Has completed several big projects in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, handling mechanical systems such as HVAC systems, plumbing systems, and fire protection systems. Has extensive experience in installation supervision, design review, supervising testing and commissioning, reviewing, and preparing documents related to mechanical works. Well-versed in AutoCAD software, McQuay software, Carrier software, ASHRAE software, and international codes. His major assets include hardworking, leadership skills, multitasking, excellent communication skills, attention to detail, and the ability to create positive relationships with colleagues. Engineer Joshua Francisco B. Palces. Engineer Manny S. Santos, M.E. He is a highly motivated professional with extensive and diversified mechanical engineering with HVAC operation and maintenance experience. He has a strong and deep technical knowledge in engineering, building facility services in mechanical design, operation and maintenance, and building constructions. He accomplished multiple projects for the multinational companies in Saudi Arabia under private sectors. A mechanical engineer with several years of extensive work experience and currently working as a service engineer of Train under Dala Company, managing its project contracts such as train chillers, package units, concealed and split units, and develop the entire project management system of the company, which enables the company to receive lucrative projects. Aside from the system development, he also identifies faults through inspections, engineering analysis and experiences, develops recommended solution and problem solver. He conducts periodic management and proper planning. He provides advice and consultation to clients and assisting them in maintaining their equipment in standard operation and practices. Engineer Manny S. Santos.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, to our honored and welcome guests. You have just witnessed the auspicious event, the milestone of our 2021 fourth special conferment of the ASEAN Register for Engineers. Let's all give them a big round of applause. At this juncture, let us all welcome the representatives for each group for their acceptance message. It's really nostalgic seeing this kind of ceremonies because back in the day, back in 2017, is only physical meeting. And in the physical meeting, it's really a different feels. But witnessing a virtual conference, a virtual conference and a virtual ceremonies, it is also quite nostalgic and it's very it's very warm. It's very warm in the heart to see these conferment ceremonies. And for the acceptance message, let me call here on the virtual lectern Engineer Radhi M. Trifalgar for the acceptance message.
Thank you very much, Engineer Harris. Check ko lang yung audio ko. It's okay ba?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. Honorable Attorney Adnan Alonto, Ambassador of Saudi Arabia, Ambassador Oman, Honorable Attorney Melda Panulong, our FAO AR Head Commissioner Engineer Yao Chaofong, our FAO Secretary General Muhammad Kir bin Muhammad, AR Ambassador for the Philippines Dr. Chong Yong Tony Ong, the PTC President Engineer Federico Mansada, PTC Council Registrar and PTC IRCC Engineer Romulo Agatep, PTC MENA Presidential Advisor Engineer Trece Bustamante, our ISEP National President Dr. Michelle Lawas, our VP of Internal Affairs Engineer Jesse Di Toro, our very own Engineer Emmanuel Yumol, our advisor, President of the Chapter of different organizations, to all our families, and most of all, the conferees, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Maybe I could start with a little bit of history. Should I say 2017 was a very significant year for me and of course for the Oman team. I believe most of you will agree basically on that year. This was the year that we started to look backward, gathered and moved forward with a definite plan basically. For me, before this happens, back then I just have a company, receive a salary, and I am okay. A family to go home from, and I'm happy with that. But since something is not showing, it's maybe if I have forgotten or misplaced something. I feel that I don't have that identity. But guys, today is different. Our journey was never been easy. If you try to see the prologue there, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years of experience, expert as I call it. Along that way, there were people, circumstances, and that might not be aligned with our plans. And we sometimes think to stop because we feel tired and no one cares. But yet we continue to stand because we believe. And as the saying goes, it takes 7 drops from a horse to become a cowboy eventually. Back then, from the preparations of all these documents, if you remember the significant work, when I started to write about that one, I cannot stop writing. I don't care about the number of words anymore. It becomes spontaneous. And every statement I feel like smiling. I feel proud. Sometimes sentimental in some point, but most of all, I'm confident. You know why? I find myself significant and with value. I guess you feel the same when you try to write your significant work. That we have contributed a lot, identify a problem, propose a solution, so many times and so many occasions in different situations. We also have mistakes, but we never stop to correct it. You know, you and me, we have a value, and this was missing a piece of me from then on. Because I never said it to myself, I thought I don't need it. I never realized it is important, as I mentioned by Engineer Trece. Our recognition helps us define ourselves. But not today. Today, we receive our pins and shells and certificates and we stand tall. We are made and processed by time. We are made from struggle and gain success. As described by Engineer Fred Manzada, our experience will best learned if we try to share. To the council, to the PTC, Afilio, sir, we thank you for the trust that you bestow on us. For this opportunity, we as ASEAN engineers commits that we bound to our code, the code of ethics, that we will be responsible and accountable for all our actions as a professional ASEAN engineer, that we will not stop learning and continue our professional development, and of course, that we will be a model, motivate young engineers, and that we will continue to support our organization and promote our professions. Again, thank you very much for the trust. But not all these will be fulfilled without the people of the group who supports us. I would like to name a few, which is very close to my heart, the IECEP-KSA-CRC, who is our mentor, who has look always on us and never fails to support us. Thank you, and you know who you are particularly. To our IECEP National Chapter, who provides us the guidance, mabuhay and more power. And to our embassy, who is always there to support us professionally. And to our fans club, our family, who never leave us in the way, they're always there for us. I personally would like to thank my wife, Marianne, who will never stop believing, and my two boys who provide the power to recharge me always. And of course, to God and the never-ending blessings. Thank you, Lord. Lastly, let me leave you in something I believe in. You know, success is something we attract by that person we become. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that warm and personal acceptance message of yours, Engineer Radhi Trifalgar. We have another acceptance message coming from Engineer Ronnie Escobar. Please help me welcome to the virtual stage, Engineer Ronnie A. Escobar.
Thank you, moderator. I check my voice loud and clear.
Yes, sir, it's loud and clear.
Good evening, VIPs. To our IECEP National President, my kababayan, Dr. Michelle Nahoya Lawas. Salamat Peter, IR Yao Chao Kung. Good evening to our fellow engineers from ASEAN countries. And good afternoon to our associate from Middle East countries. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Engineer Emmanuel Jumul, Engineer Federico Monsada, Vice President, and Engineer Romulo Ramos Agatip, Country Registrar, for giving me a chance to become an Associate ASEAN Engineer. And I would also like to thank my IECEP family, my fellow BODs, and working committees for believing in me. To be honest, this profession never crossed on my heart or mind, but with the help of Almighty God, everything come as blessing in disguise. This accomplishment is not something that I did it alone, and there are many others to share in this journey. I will share my knowledge and skill to all my countrymen, other Asian countries, and to all aspiring young engineers. No words can express how much thankful I am to all the person who always at my back to make this possible. I hope that this recognition of my work serve as an inspiration to others in the field. Remember, my work can make a difference. So can yours. I will continue my effort on this and look forward for many years to come. Thank you and good night. Back to you, moderator.
Thank you so much, Engineer Ronnie A. Escobar, and we are looking forward to that commitment of yours. And last but not the least, to give his acceptance message from the PSME-CRSA group, please help me welcome to the virtual stage Engineer Joshua Francisco B. Paulses, ASEAN Engineer, Registered Master Plumber.
Thank you, Sir Harris. Is my voice clear, sir? You can hear me, sir?
Loud and clear.
Yes, thank you, sir. Yes, to our Philippine Ambassador in Saudi Arabia, Honorable Adnan B. Alonto, the Oman Philippine Ambassador, Honorable Imelda M. Panolong, our PTSA President, Sir Federico Munsada, our our International Relations Chairman, Sir Romulo R. Agatep, our Presidential Advisor and Coordinator, PTC MENA Affairs, Engineer Sir Treset T. Bustamante, our AER Commissioner, Sir Yao Chow Fong, yes, and our honored guest. Good afternoon. Yes, sir. On behalf of my fellow ASEAN Registry conferees, I would like to thank you, PTSA, AFEO, ASEAN Engineering Register, IECEP-KSA-CRC, and PSME-CRSA Riyadh Chapter. Conferred, as an ASEAN engineer, I take pride in this momentous event, as I now know I belong to a roster of competent and valiant engineers. The journey of self-improvement and competency never ends. Thus, we at PSME-CRSA and I personally commit to be an advocate of professional upliftment and pay it forward so that my colleagues and other professionals who are not yet aware of such benefits be also included. Let this conferment mark the start of a new journey, and as we always say in PSME-CRSA, no one gets left behind. We will forge our way ahead and share the experience to our fellow professionals. An organization is only as good as its members, but if we strive hard and put in all the efforts, we can be part of the development of our profession and of the region. Once again, congratulations to all conferees and to your respective families. Mabuhay tayong lahat. Over to you, Master of Ceremonies.
Thank you so much, Engineer Joshua Francisco B. Paulses. And to all those who have given their acceptance messages, be it inked and written in history, all of your commitments, all of the things that you have said, and may it be emulated, and may you be an advocate of PTC and other things that we can do for self-improvement. congratulations. And at this juncture, we are going to present the awarding of the certificates. May I ask our technical committee and also our Zoom masters to please help me in presenting the following certificates to the people behind this successful virtual event. And before I present the certificate, let me first read the text. IECEP-KSA Central Region Chapter presents this certificate of appreciation to Engineer Emmanuel R. Yumul in grateful recognition for delivering the welcome remarks during the fourth special IECEP-KSA-CRC with IECEP Oman and PSME-CRSA ASEAN Engineering Register Conferment ceremonies via Zoom virtual conference given this 20th day of July 2021 at Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Signed, June Silvestre C. Calomarde, Event Chairman, Vice Governor for Internal Affairs. Signed, Jonathan Dio M. Aquino, PECE ASEAN Engineer, Chapter Secretary General, and signed, Arnold Silvestre C. Salcedo, Professional Electronics Engineer ASEAN Engineer, Chapter Governor. Ladies and gentlemen, let's all give it up for Engineer Emmanuel R. Yumul. For the camera, sir.
You.
So you were always a contributing person in every successful conferment. As long as I can remember, Engineer Yumul is always there for us. Thank you so much, Engineer Yumul. Our next certificate with the same text is also presented to Engineer Trece T. Bustamante. Engineer Trece, are you still around?
I think Engineer Yum will be the one receiving it. Or him.
On his behalf. All right, thank you so much. Our next certificate of appreciation is presented to the IECEP National President, Dr. Michelle D. Lawas. May I request our technical committee, our Zoom master, to please highlight the gorgeous Madam Dr. Michelle Lawas.
Thank you.
Smile for the
Thank you
camera,
so
Madam.
much.
Thank you, Madam, for that wonderful, inspirational message of yours. Moving on to our next certificate of appreciation. It is presented to Engineer Federico A. Monsada. Sir Fed? Okay. Ready? 1, 2. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Another certificate of appreciation is also presented to Engineer Yao Chao Fong. Thank you so much for your participation and your contribution to the success of the fourth special conferment ceremonies. Smile for the camera. Ready? 1, 2. Thank you, Engineer.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Another certificate of appreciation with the same text is presented to Her Excellency, the Honorable Imelda M. Panolong.
She's not available, so I think we should proceed.
Definitely. Our next certificate of appreciation is presented to Engineer Romulo R. Agatev, in grateful recognition for conducting the charging of conferees. Smile for the camera, Sir Romulo. Ready? 1, 2. Thank you, sir. Another certificate of appreciation is presented to the President of the PSME-CRSA for the year 2021, Engineer Jason S. Zamora.
Fine.
All right, thank you so much. Another certificate of appreciation is presented to yours truly.
Thank you very much, Engineer Harris.
No worries.
I will do the pleasure in awarding you this certificate. I would like to thank you, Engineer Harris Asadera, as our Master of Ceremonies, in grateful recognition for your time and dedication as our Master Ceremony during the event. Thank you, Engineer Harris.
Thank you so much, Sir June. Accepting it with pride and honor. And at this juncture, for us to hear more or to hear the closing remarks, it is the valiant and industrious President of the PSME-CRSA Riyadh chapter for the year 2021. He has been around for quite some time and he has risen to the ranks of leadership. And now, as the steward of the PSME-CRSA Riyadh chapter, it is conquering greater heights. To give the closing remarks, please help me welcome to the virtual lectern, Engineer Jason S. Zamora, Professional Mechanical Engineer.
Thank you, Engineer Harris, for your delightful introduction. To Honorable Ambassador Adnan B. Alonto, Honorable Imelda Panolong, Apeo Secgen Engineer Muhammad Kir bin Muhammad, AER Ambassador for the Philippines, Dr. Chong Yong Tony Ong, Head Commissioner of ASEAN Engineering Registry, Engineer Yao Chang Wong, to the PTC President, Engineer Federico Monsada, to the PTC Country Registrar, Engineer Romulo Agatep, to the Presidential Advisor and Coordinator of PTC MENA, Engineer Teresa T. Bustamante, to ICEP 2021 National President, Dr. Michelle D. Lawas, other PTC and APEO officers, conferees, guests, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good afternoon and good evening to all. My warmest congratulations to the new conferees of ASEAN engineers and associate ASEAN engineers. More than a year and counting, the global pandemic still exists, and it caused a major destruction in terms of physical, social, psychological, economic, and political system in our country. Most of the professionals experience loss of jobs, salary, benefits, mental health issues, financial constraints, and unfortunately death. Despite all these facts, we Filipinos persevered and continued to forge our way to become more resilient and adaptive in any circumstances. We experienced a lot of difficulties, but our never say die mindset brought us to light to surpass all the hindrances we encountered. The pandemic acted as catalyst and prompted the professional organization to innovate and think of creative solutions to reach out for its members through the use of online resources and technology. The new normal caused a paradigm shift that led the professionals to adapt to the challenges of the time. Nowadays, no one can live without internet. It is where we can find countless helpful e-learning courses, technical webinars, podcasts, and online modules to keep our minds abreast with the latest upgrades and changes in the profession. Competency is everything in this day and age. The more competent you are in and in actual application, the more fit you are to land the better opportunities in the field. Success favors the prepared and the worthy. It will not happen overnight, but with perseverance and ample time of investment of your career path, you will definitely succeed in your endeavors. Always keep moving forward and be the best version of yourself. At the end of the day, all your investments, sacrifices, hardships will mold you to a better person, equipped, handled with the new norm and its corresponding changes. Finally, let us not forget our comrades, friends, and colleagues whom we met along the way. Let us share our learnings and think not of the competition, but keep in mind and hearts to be compassionate and humane in every way possible. Let's help the Philippine Technological Council, APEO, to be an advocate of developing our engineering career to higher benchmark of global comparability and competitiveness. Let's open up more avenues and opportunities to promote and have the Filipino brand of engineering and technology services recognized globally. And now, I officially close the 4th Special ASEAN Engineering Registry Conferment ceremonies. Once again, congratulations to all. Thank you very much, and God bless us all. Over to you, Master of Ceremonies.
Thank you so much, Engineer Jason and Zamora, for that wonderful speech of yours. And at this juncture, this is your host, Engineer Harris O. Asidera, professional mechanical engineer. I enjoyed being your host for today, bidding adieu and good night. But before that, may I ask everyone to please turn on your camera for another photo opportunity, starting off with our conferees. All our countries, kindly turn on your camera. Our ICEP National, our dignitaries, can you please turn on your camera as well? We're going to take our souvenir photo. Our Zoom master and our technical committee, please assist me in asking everyone to please turn on their camera and taking the screenshot. We still have 41 amazing attendees online.
I suggest everyone to keep smiling.
Yes, just keep on smiling because you don't know which page are you on. I don't know. All right, let me start with the first page. Everyone, is everyone turned on? Let me turn on the camera. Our technical committee, please help me in asking everyone to please turn on their camera. All right, let me start with the first page. Kindly flash your brilliant smiles. Everyone taking the screenshot in 3, 2, 1. All right, let me proceed to the second page. I hope that our Zoom masters and our technical committee are also taking the screenshot, as I am experiencing some lag on my system. All right, moving on to the second page. Yes, this is already a sign. Why does it always have to be like this during the end of the program? Why are you all smiling brilliantly right now? But a while ago when you are spotlighted, not everyone is smiling. Thanks everyone, and I do appreciate all your time and efforts. And now let us proceed to the next segment. A while ago we have our group photo. Now let us have the group from PSME. May I request all the conferees, the officers of the PSME, to please turn on your camera so that we can have a photo as well. A separate photo from the PSME. May I ask the assistant?
Everyone else, except our
yes, everyone
ASEAN.
else. May I request everyone to please turn off first your camera, and only the PSME will turn on their camera so that we can have their group photo separately. Of course, not the dignitaries, our dignitaries, and also our ISEP National and from AER. Please turn on your camera. You will still be with us. Also, the family of the PSME, please don't forget to highlight them, to spotlight them. Okay, let me just stop first your video, sir, from our colleagues from Oman and from IECEP-KSA-CRC, because we are going to take a photo first for the PSME. All right, everyone in? Everyone accounted for? We don't want any violent reaction later on if they're not included in the photo. Taking the screenshot in 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much. Congratulations, PSME. Please help me, huh? I'll be upgrading from AAE to AE. I'll be counting on your help. Next, our next group will be from ISEP Oman, from the Sultanate of Oman. May I request the gentlemen PSME to please turn off your camera so that we can only spotlight the gentlemen, the ladies and gentlemen from Oman. Right. Are we all in? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 conferees from, we have 4 ASEAN engineers from Oman. All right, ready? Taking the screenshot in 3. Wait a minute. Who is that?
Sir, hindi po mabuksan
Sir, hindi
yung
kami
camera namin.
Hindi kami ka-add, sir.
Assist.
7 lahat.
Wait lang po. All right.
Everyone
Our
who
technical
cannot
committee,
go,
please help.
complain in the chat so I know who you are. Okay, Santos.
Jimmy Santos, walang
Sir Jimmy.
walang camera.
Yeah.
Who
Where is
else?
Sir Jimmy?
Yeah.
There. Who else?
Santos.
Sir, Rachel
The family.
Robles.
Ah,
Hindi po mabuksan yung
Yes, the
camera
family.
ko.
The
Naka-off.
families as well.
Si
Rachel.
Rachel, walang camera.
Sorry about that.
There,
Complain.
sir.
You're free to complain. This is your event. Anyone else?
Radi, si Radi.
Rifle
Yes,
Gar.
ready. Engineer ready.
Sir, nakalock yung camera ko.
Yes, nag-request na ako. Check if you can.
Okay, start my video. No problem.
All right, let's wait
There
for.
you go.
Wow, that's a great
Family.
photo, Miss
The family.
Engineer
Family.
Salido.
Yeah,
If they can move closer to the camera, Engineer Salido, so that they can be seen.
Family.
Your family.
Family.
Yeah, that's nice photo.
Rifle Gar family. Ready.
Nay, dali na. Yeah, hold on guys. Nasaan sila?
No worries, no worries. If you have your immediate family, your brothers, sisters, your husband, wives, and your children, you can also ask them to join you. This is a momentous event for your family.
There you go.
Family, yeah.
All right.
After family to join.
Husband ni Ma'am and move forward, sir. A little bit. Para makita yung
There's a Ronald. Medyo, can you move to your right a little bit so that there. All right.
Yeah.
Everyone. Great photo. Okay. Ready? 1, 2. Taking the screenshot. 3, 2, 1. Congratulations, everyone. Congratulations. The success of your mom and dad is also the success of the family. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Next group will be the IECEP-KSA-CRC. May I request everyone, our ladies and gentlemen from Oman, to please turn off your camera to give way to our group from the IECEP-KSA-CRC.
Family.
May I also request the officers can also join the governors of the IECEP-KSA-CRC to please join us in this photo opportunity.
Si Ronnie, wala
Are we
pa.
all in?
Ronnie Escobar.
everyone, you can complain in the chat box so I
Wala
can
din kami.
identify.
Wala din kami, wala.
I can identify.
Ronnie, si
I can
Jessie.
identify.
Nakalak yata.
Yan.
Wala pa.
Nakalak.
May magtatampo na naman.
Si Ronnie.
Wala, nakalak.
Hey, si Ronnie Escobal.
Ronnie Escobar.
Please unlock technical committee.
Sabi ko, kasi mag-reklamo sa chat box. Para naman naminig ko kayo na kami. In English.
Sir Menard, this is the chance. The photo is now up.
Yes, baby.
Where's mommy?
Hi,
You
baby.
say to mommy.
Hello.
Where's mommy? Please.
I guess yun na yun, no? Wala na.
All right, we have it. We have everyone here. How about Leo? Aren't you joining?
Huh? Yeah,
Are
I'm
you
joining. I'm joining. Ayan na.
All right, ready? All right, taking the screenshot in 3. Look into the camera, please. There's Manaman. Ready? 1, 2. Okay, one more. Kindly don't move for those who have 2 or more participants in their camera. Sometimes they are missing, sometimes they are appearing. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Congratulations, IECEP-KSA-CRC.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much, everyone.
See you tomorrow.
How about those with families? Do you want to have
particular?
Without any particularities. Go.
Kayo
Yes,
na.
those who have their families, you can also take a photo together with our dignitaries, with our ISEP National President and officers, and also from AER. Take this opportunity now. This is one of
Tomorrow
the
in Saudi Arabia.
advantages. Physical meeting. All right, everyone, taking the screenshot again in 3, 2. Oh, okay, people are joining in again. All right, I'll be waiting. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Have a good night. Thank you so much for joining us on this momentous event. Congratulations to
Thank
all
you very
the
much.
engineers.
Stay safe po ang lahat.
Yeah. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
very much.
Congratulations, everyone.
Congratulations, everyone.
Thank you very much. Salamat.
God bless po. God bless.
Thank you
See you tomorrow in Saudi
God
Arabia.
bless. Stay safe.
See you tomorrow, mga PTC.
Yao Chao
Tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Terima kasih.
Thank you.
Sama-sama.
For those who are staying, you can also see and watch our souvenir program.
Congratulations. Thank you. Everyone. Sir Fred, Sir Ronnie.
Yeah, thank you. See you all tomorrow.
Virtually.
Okay.
Si Miss Ben, nandiyan ba? Thank you, Miss Ben.
Welcome po. Thank you rin po, sir. Congrats po.
Magsusundo pa ako sa next event.
For those who are still around,
for joining us.
Can we watch the flip book of our souvenir program?
So we hope to see everyone all of our dignitaries tomorrow for the hybrid.
Is it going to be the same time?
Yeah, we will send the link. Yes, we will send the link. It's actually it's the same link, but we'll just update some details. There will be, I think, around 5 virtual conferees and around 30, more than 30 physical conferees. So it's a hybrid.
Mm. Very good, very good. Napakaganda.
Okay, sir. Sir Fred, we will send, pag nauwi ako, I will provide the actual copies, sir, niyan. We have printouts for that one.
Gumawa ba kayo ng hard copy niyan?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ano siya?
Bigyan mo ako, Manuel.
Yes, ma'am. Sige po.
Ano siya? Ang kagandahan niyan, pwede mong i-update, ano?
Yes, ma'am.
Pwede mo na idagdag yung mga kuha na pictures ngayon. Yan ang advantage ng new technology na.
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you and congrats.
See you tomorrow. Thank you, MC.
Thank you, MC Harris.
Hello,
No worries.
Galing mo. Pwede ka ng MC
Haris,
sa...
ang galing mo, Haris.
Thank you po. Thank you po.
Ano na yan? Bukas.
Sir Fred, do you remember in 2017? Nung
Yes,
po kayo, nung in-interview niyo po kami?
Picture mo. Picture natin.
Sir Romy.
I-flash mo na yun.
I-flash mo yung picture natin.
So dapat ano ka na?
Second pa lang natin yan yata, ano?
Pwede ka na mag-upgrade.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Kami po ni Press Jason Zamora.
Sasabay po kami,
Mag-upgrade
sir.
po kami into ASEAN engineer po.
Very good.
We will upgrade to AEA.
Bye-bye. Wala na yung taga-picture.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Sige, thank you
po.
very much.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Kayo mo.
Thank you.
Sir June. Galing-galing.
Thank you, Haris.
Yung response pala ni...
Pakopya po kami ng PowerPoint.
Yung mga responses, pwede ba makahingi ng ng transcription? Yung mga responses.
Transcript? No problem. Meron tayong program dyan.
Padala nyo kay Venus. Ha?
Sige, sir.
Official daw. Official.
Actually, sir,
Pangalan na si
video
Jun
mismo,
Silva.
we can download from Zoom aside dun sa naka-live sa YouTube.
Kasama na yung permission na i-quote sila, ha?
Yes, sir.
Paano? Papanotaryo na natin. yung kapatid ko mag-graduate na, paralegal na. Paano na ba ang paralegal magano? Pag hindi pa, no? Pag hindi pa kapos ang bar.
Wag niyo sabihin patatatakan niyo pa sa embassy, ha?
Papatatakan ko talaga sa embassy. Dadaan ako. Sige po.
Sige.
Junsil, you can, naka-live tayo. Ikaw na host, so...
Yeah. Meron pa akong isi-share.
Si-share?
Na,
wait lang. Ito lang. Okay. Naka-live
ito
tayo.
na ba si Haris?
Kami po yung tatlong associate ASEAN engineers ng batch na yun. Si Engineer Ronel, yung nasa kaliwa. Nasa gitna po si Engineer Jason, and then yours truly.
Yan pa isa.
Yung associate engineers.
Yun.
Dapat yan.
PSM batch.
Pagka AE ka na, ang conferment na sunod, sana may physical na Cambodia.
Ito rin iba.
Kasi yung
po yan, Cambodia. Para makapunta din ng Cambodia.
Yung sa November, sa Brunei, wala pang physical yun. Sabi nga ni Yao Chao, phone. Wala pang physical yun. So ang next year, hopefully may physical na yon sa Cambodia yung host next year. Mga November yun.
Ayun, sa Yumol, you see? Hello po.
Salamin pa ako niyan.
Always, every step of the way. Palaging IECEP ang tumutulong sa mga conferments at saka sa ASEAN.
Okay, very good.
Always welcome.
Yun ang
It's a wrap. Thanks everyone.
Yes.
Sir Fred.
Okay, thank you very much. Yun ang mahirap na hindi magawa sa paligid kayo na ganun.
Yes, sir.
Pero kahit pa paano ito, pwede actually para siyang face to face din.
Sir Fred, total wala ng conferees. Any inputs, any comments para ma-correct namin next time?
So far wala akong typical naman yung problem natin na minsan napuputol yung nagsasalita, di ba? Typical yun sa Pilipinas.
Si Malaysia nga nalaglag, sir, di ba? Imagine.
Palagay ko siya yun kasi
yes, sir.
Kanila yun.
Yes, sir. Kasi reliable internet dito sa Saudi, di ba?
So, at saka yung transition ng bawat step mukhang napaka-smooth yun. So, tingin ko ang susunod nga siguro, palagi namin sinasabi ni Romy, ang susunod is hologram.
Hologram.
Mabigat-bigat yung hologram. Sabi namin sa lahat ng mga ginagawa nyo dyan na
naka 3D na, sir.
Dimension. O di ba pagka pumunta ka sa Universal Studios sa US, may hologram na maliliit na tao.
Yes, sir.
CGI na sunod, sir.
Pero mahal na yun, mahal. So, sige, congratulations. Very yun na Noel, tingin ko very short notice yun eh.
Alin, sir?
We decided to
include
go for it.
Yes,
although yung physical supposed to be long notice.
But 2 years ago pa yun, sir.
Kasi supposed to be bago pandemic di ba?
Excited kami sir 2 years.
Ito ngayon, itong virtual na to.
Yes, sir. Itong batch na to yun, sir. Half nito yun. More than half nito. Inabot natin.
Yeah. Okay. Even yung mga taga
Oman. Oman, sir. Oman.
ER, they will sa totoo lang. Kasi they plan to
nagulat ka ako, sir. Ang dami ko pala
Conferment.
Biglang humaba yung listahan. Okay lang naman, sir. We're ready naman eh. I hope na mention ko lahat.
Good na.
Okay, it's
thank you, sir.
It's okay.
Thank
you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
sir.
Thank you very much po.
Thank you po,
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
God bless po, more power.
Thank you to RMC. Thank you sa iyo, Sir Aris.
Salamat.
No worries po, no worries.
A reminder, working com, las 7 ha. Meron pa.
Congrats, team.
Thank you.
Thank you kasi nakatulong
ako. Lopez.
Best the best.
Makakalain, pwede pa naman Conferment saka mag-sash.
Pagbarong ko nung wala sa panahon.
Pag-pip. Makati nga po dito Makati sa leeg.
Makati sa leeg. Meron, Makati sa leeg.
Makati mo sa leeg.
Ganda ng natin presentation.
Ipakita natin kung sino bang nag-punch dyan.
At at least siningin natin yung ano ni
Si 5C, naka-live ka pa, baka magubad ka.
Diba? Guys,
Naka-shorts dyan.
at least yung feedback ni Sir Fred, very positive.
Still.
Wala siyang papakorek, kumbaga.
Si 5C, baka magubad ka.
Live stream tayo. Papatay na.
Jonathan. Oy, bigyan mo ng
Si
program si
Jonathan.
Madam.
Ako nga, nakahubad na eh.
Joncel.
Yes, sir.
Bigyan ng program si Madam, ha?
Ka-live pa rin tayo. Papatay na. Hindi ko mapatay. Ikaw yung host.
Pag-usapan natin mamaya
Pa tayo
gabi,
live.
7 o'clock, guys. Meron pa tayo. Mag-arrange pa tayo.
Magsusundo pa ako ng ng tao.
We're still in YouTube, ha? We're still in YouTube.
Preparation. Bukas.
Okay.
We're still in YouTube. Putulin nila.